There's the captain's meet in the middle. Lockie Neal and Noah Anderson.
Up we go. Tails is the call.
That's not very decisive.
We'll go SUNS or AFL.
Oh boy. We don't see that too often. We're going to delay the toss. A retoss.
AFL it is. Yep, all right, thank you.
After all of that, Lockie Neal does get to decide which way. It'll be to the right of screen as the rain tumbles down. Jonathan Brown and Alistair Lynch alongside me. We know last week's performance, Lynchy and Jonathan, you know, a kick in the nuts as was described by Damien Hardwick. Shouldn't worry too much given how well they've played this season. But the back end of the year, it's just been their history. The most they've won in the last 7 games is 3, and they've done that twice. So that would have to make just a few people a little bit nervous.
I think you make a good point there, because historically it has been an issue. But my biggest concern is the experience that's gone out of the team. In particular, Rioli off half-back, but Toot Miller, what he can do across half-forward and in the midfield, that's my major concern, that with that experience gone, they could drop off.
Yeah, I think they just had to refocus on 2 weeks ago. They were fantastic against Collingwood for big chunks of that game. They got away with the victory. I thought they showed some real maturity. I think a lot of teams struggled against Adelaide Crows like they did last week. So they're on the cusp of history. They need 3 more wins out of their last 5 games. He's an important inclusion. Sam Collins, just to give some leadership and direction back there. Maybe free up a Mac Andrews to really go ahead and play the game. Maybe not be as man-conscious today. So a little bit of rain, that might help even things up around the contest and just help the Suns midfielders get into the game on the back of Jared Witz's dominance over Oscar McInerney.
Brisbane could go top and they could stay there if they beat Collingwood next week. They never finished on top of the ladder under Chris Fagan, so what an opportunity as they look to go back-to-back. Will Brisbane's bullying and dominance continue? Q-Clash 29 is underway. This is where the biggest bullies are, in the middle of the ground, but the Suns get first hands on the footy. Powell out to Noble, and a rust left foot kick, and charging up from defence, Fletcher, as he's done all year. He's recommitted to the footy club. And McCluggage, fresh from his 200th last week, guides it to Morris.
Anything from Brisbane just on showing that early passage of play. So the Brisbane, the ability to get out there and pressure up the opposition, and then the quick handballs. Even though it is slippery out there, it started raining about 10 minutes ago, but just their confidence, just even no-look handballs.
And Fletcher involved. We've spoken about him for weeks now. Very impressive player off that half-back and wing position.
Well, surprisingly, Logan Morris was one of the culprits last week with the Lions' poor kicking. He kicked 1 goal, 1 from 4 shots. And that's not an easy long shot given the amount of rain that's coming down, but he's missed by a fair margin.
No, and the ground is probably as slippery as it's been this season. There was a storm went through Wednesday. Jonathan, you wouldn't remember because I think you were in Nevada. But
it's 44 degrees over there.
It's pretty slippery down there.
So Rao takes the mark. He doesn't take many marks at all, Matty Rao. Only averages just over 1 per game. So he's had his 1. And he's off and running and driving. The Suns up to the wing. Gardner to McCluggage. Brisbane going forward again, taking territory. Andrew back with the flight. At the backup, Collins. Been without him for a month, and a welcome return. Hewlett playing it wide, slow build, Fiorini.
This is going to be the challenge for the Suns. No Daniel Rioli, just can they keep that ball moving off half-back?
Butterick was good when he went back last week, so it'll be interesting to see starting on the bench today. Interesting to see the makeup of their back half. Powell. Contest kick to half-forward, it's a big contest. Andrews for the back, and there's Rao.
So it looks like Sam Collins has got their Hipwood match-up, and Logan Morris will get, well, they're switching back now. So the 2 big defenders for the Suns are playing around Mac Andrew now to Hipwood.
Bailey out to Dunkley. Only a welcome inclusion, just missed the 1 week with suspension. Free kick goes against Mac Andrew.
Does the footy go back?
Transgressed last week at several occasions, gave away 3 free kicks. And here's Eric Hipwood. Places it up in the McCluggage direction. Fiorini, I think everyone thought it was going over the line and out of bounds. Now it is as Rayner arrived to make sure of that.
big challenge for the Suns will be how they're going to get through, because Brisbane's setting up beautifully behind the ball. We know starved of opportunity, those forwards for Gold Coast, but they're set up really well.
Winston McInerney toiling away already at the front. Anderson couldn't grab it cleanly. McCluggage has been everywhere so far. Bailey leaves it deep to full forward. And again, it's worked over the line and out of bounds.
Strong start from Brisbane, just not allowing the Suns to transfer the ball out of their defensive half here.
This is how they built their game early in the season. 4.5 turnovers, lock it in.
McInerney knocks it closer to goal. Morris up to meet it. Collins does enough. Rao again. Back up from Anderson and Newland. A lot of handballs. Davies, first game of the season for him. Up to the wing, but a crash bang. Farah, haven't seen him since 2023. And a bit of speed to the mix. Down the line, McCluggage again just jammed it, found a way to get it to Bailey. Mind changed at the last minute. McCluggage off the left, guided beautifully to the top of the square. Archie, before the Sun takes the mark. Overwhelmed then.
Bailey's a good player. He's had a good season. He'd have to be in All-Australian contention.
Brisbane have been, both sides have been pretty good in first quarters. Brisbane have been great. 13 wins and just 5 losses, second in the AFL, including the last 7 opening terms they've won. And a strong start already to this one.
It's a really good play. Then ball use, dominating time in forward half for Brisbane, but just smart ball use from the likes of McCluggage, Zach Bailey, and this man that we've been speaking about for probably at a high level. So that was smart from McCluggage. Didn't just blaze away, just poked it underneath to get to Zach Bailey, just under there. And then enough composure after a bit of a fumble to again distribute back to McCluggage, just puts it out in front. He's had a huge 12 months, Kel Archie, whether it be defensive role, playing a defensive forward role off half-back with the likes of Blakey, or genuinely being a target up forward.
Has an 8-1 record against his old team, as most of the Brisbane team players have against the Suns, given their dominance. Suns finding it hard to get their hands on the ball with any sort of freedom.
Connor McKenna playing as a forward, coming back into the lineup today for Brisbane.
Which he's been doing a bit in the VFL, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. With Kai Lohmann's injury, he's gone out of the team. Just that injury year after year, Kai Lohmann just can't get going.
He probably got going all right late last year, though, didn't he?
Yeah, light it up, mate.
Weller on the back foot, Noble. It's been a constant for them so far. Now they get into some sort of clear air as Witts kicks the half forward. That's a fine leap and turn from long. His form's just dropped off a little bit of late, but he gets it in quick. Ainsworth, Wilmot, where he was hoping Bailey would be. Ainsworth firing it back and they share it around. Farah, Flanders. Realised he couldn't get the leverage on the kick. It does. He just boot there. Pretty savage afterwards from Gardner. Flinch Flanders.
Just behind play, we've got Lockie Neal out on the wing here. He's been hobbling for the last minute after a contest, so not running with any freedom.
And he's waiting to get involved as convenience would be that he can get clear because no one was on him, and he can charge forward and kick to the square. Almost, but it doesn't go. Oh, Cameron came through. And he can't believe he's missed.
It's great left by Jared Witts to get down there and crowd the spoil on Darcy Ford. Great crumb there. Only Charlie kicks those.
Stay out.
Carefully from Noble back to Powell.
That's a good kick.
It needed to be too.
Absolutely.
To Anderson. Eyeing off Noble. And heads as long as he can. Outmarches Ben King. Was his arm chopped?
It was, yes.
Yep, out of
Yeah, it's
zone
from the
umpire.
middle. It was actually from Meredith And not nervous, but Rosebery from the centre of the ground, actually. It was the right decision, I think. You just saw the chopper there, had a really good angle of it.
Haven't had too many opportunities in this first quarter. Ben King's just got to make the most of these opportunities when they go forward. Just get the confidence of this young team up and going.
1, 2, and 4 goals in the last 3 weeks. He said during the week that it's on himself as a leader to lift. The forward line, as we saw last week, needs to connect better. They need to convert because they haven't had many good opportunities yet. That's just everything.
He does go that way. When he leans back a bit, he tends to pull to the left. Just needs to drive through with the momentum.
He looks like he's already 6 disposals and about to have his 7th.
Talk about All-Australian, Anthony.
Yeah. Well, coach also pushing up for Josh Dunkley during the week as well, if they wanted to have a defensive midfielder.
And rightly so.
Yeah, Hipwood. Cameron has a yard on Andrew. Can he utilise it? There's Leicester drifting into the 50. From behind McKenna with a spoiling approach.
Charlie Cameron just working. Here's the injury. Here's the locking here. Just a...
Well, it's the great fear at this time of the year, isn't it, for all the teams contending? It's the wild card that you can't do much about.
He might just got hit in the wrong spot, though.
Like the Suns did last week.
Yes.
Rayner. Oh, took Rao and Powell to stop him.
That's great signs from Gold Coast. So they need to bring that aggression. So Cam Rayner is one of the more physical lines.
It is a good sign, but sort of like Zorko's got the licence to have a crack at the kicks, Cam Rayner's got the licence to just take tackles on.
Now to Andrew. Smart play. This is in on the way out.
So this is better. Find some space and use those uncontested marks.
Buttering heads for Farah. Has to defend.
Good start, though. Good start in that, it's not the typical Gold Coast Suns style where it's breakneck off half-back, low uncontested marks. They've been measured with the build-up, it's fair to say, and it's worked so far.
Only 5 games here this year, the Suns, winning 4 of the 5. Lost to Freo, of course, but still fresh in everyone's mind, that big win over Collingwood a couple of weeks ago. Butterick, the Fiorini, and they're starting to win around the contest now. Freo won't be happy with that handball.
That's the key. Winning around the contest, key against the Brisbane Lions, but you just feel like they're just playing within the V early, especially with their ball movement stuff. You're right. The base of their game has to be this contest work.
So, Rao Dunkley matchup. See Alex. Who's that down there? Davies helping out, putting the blocks on.
Out of the square comes King and Andrews. Away from Long. Butterick, stripped of it. Davies, Fiorini, suits his left. How much will it suit it? Just fine. What a kick from Fiorini.
Great kick. Well done. The Sunday Joe Wentz had a great start to the game. Been fantastic around the contest. Got back down to Crowder's ball and Darcy fought a few moments ago. Now the contest, starting to give first use to his midfielders. Winning back some territory. Good follow-up there. Getting the tackle. A great finish by Fiorini, who's had a sneaky good season.
He has, and I think this is the important part, especially early for the Suns. The half chance, you've got to take these half chances. So whether it's a 50-metre shot or a snap like this is what they need to just sort of frank how competitive they are in through the midfield. Take a few of these chances, and they feel like they belong.
He's not a big goal kicker usually, but just his 3rd for the season. What a time for it. Season high 28 disposals last week. Was one of their better players in Adelaide in that debacle. Out of the middle, Ashcroft in his 50th. Hasn't been a major player so far. Tumbles it forward. Andrew, no ball. The footy wouldn't behave initially. Great tackle pressure again, but both sides. And the second one is rewarded. The Morris tackle was excellent, but the free kick eventually goes the way of the Suns. They can work it out to Davies.
Davies is coming up for disposal number 4. As you touched on, Anthony, his first game for the season. Good to see.
Just 32 games in his first 4 seasons, but he stayed with the Suns. Now Butterick Fires it up into the pocket. King was well positioned, but you can never count that man out, Harris Andrews.
Again, it was wits in that contest. Bring the ball to ground. Working his way through that. Dane Zorko on the bench.
Which we saw last week when he had that, well, multitude of injuries, didn't he? Got a bit grumpy as well.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's a bit of a Liz Frank ligament strain. So it's something he's got to put up with for the remainder of the year, just with discomfort, from what I can gather.
That scares, the name of that just scares everyone, doesn't it, given the history?
Don't hold!
Gardner watching Reid. As we know, they've gone smaller up front with Walter back to the VFL this week. They've done that a handful of times this year.
So long as the one that Starcevic watching closely, so paying respect. He had a good season long.
Climbing up against the line. Or did that come out on the full?
Have to be on the floor.
Yeah, free kick to Gold Coast.
McCluggy's reaction gave it away. Actually.
Yeah, that's right.
He was flat.
Yeah.
So Butterick, so he is playing forward, is where we've seen him recently, before he was moved last week.
And these are very gettable shots. And again, those opportunities, they just need to take early.
It is gettable, but he only has 3 goals in his AFL career. Oh, he's very happy with his fourth.
Play on.
Kicking in duties with Zorko on the bench. Might help his numbers a little bit. The Zorks have the second most kick-ins in the competition.
Play on.
Levi Ashcroft kicked 2 last week. They certainly needed the Ashcrofts for the straight kicking last week. They kicked 5 straight
Outside 5.
between them, the Ashcrofts. The rest had 27 shots for goal and kicked 7 goals, 13.
And Will even flushed that last one from outside 50.
That was unbelievable. Archie, first goal kicker of the game. Now Will.
Outside 5. Play on you.
Decided to put the faith in Cameron. Ball ends up over right out of bounds.
Rao comes back on the ground. Dunkley just meets him at the stoppage. So Josh Dunkley stayed on, continues to run.
Backhanded down from Witts again. There's Neil. So he certainly stayed out there and looks okay. And is winning possession despite the pressure that was everywhere. Berry and also Jeffrey. Neither took a backward step. Archie. High ball. Oh, good body work from Hipwood on McAndrew. That just didn't quite finish it. It stays in. There's Adams. The youngster putting the tackle on. He'll be happy to have Sam Collins back there in defence, I reckon, this week alongside him.
Big job there for Yulin on Cameron.
He's had that regularly, hasn't he? The big jobs.
Yeah, a lot of faith from Damien Hardwick. Big fan of him in the academy picks.
And he often gets those jobs done, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Been very impressive.
So his younger brother, playing here in the reserve. Zeke, yes.
They suspect he'll be in the top 3 in the national draft.
It's hard to get a clear passage to the footy. Jeffrey, though, pitches it out of there. Judged it pretty well up against Leicester, who hangs onto the arm. 10 intercepts last week, Leicester, and got great praise again from the coach.
Yeah, he's been a fantastic player for the Lions. Great clubman. Just continues on his 1-year run.
I think we've put Mayo on that story that he's argued against several times, but yeah, great.
Wandering ball from Anderson, met by Starcevic. The 2 number 8s, Fiorini and Ashcroft. McKenna. The hack kick forward, doesn't go too far. And gets Reid. He's having some time on the ball at the moment, takes them up.
So I'm sensing a little bit more control with the ball movement from the Gold Coast Suns. I realise their main weapon, Daniel Riel, is not there.
Weller. Oh, fighting with his teammate in some ways, Farrer and King, to try and get access to the footy.
Oscar, upper meter, straight back, straight back.
The 80 forward handball to Neil. Cheese head. He's done pretty well to disrupt him without really knowing where the footy was. Andrew thought he could get through unscathed. He couldn't, and so Rayner and Brisbane have a chance. Wilmot's hands crafty again to Rayner. Lets the traffic pass. Kicks towards Fort. Got worked into the ball, and Collins steadfast stability brings them, and the size and the heft back there on display. Flanders chances the arm with a kill. From Fletcher. He's getting better every week.
Sensational.
Just doing extra things every time you see him. I suspect it won't be long before he's in the midfield.
Yeah, certainly, man.
You can fix anyone up. That's the beauty of this job. As I said, you see things you've never seen before, like that kick.
There he goes.
Cross half back to Leicester. Through centre half back to Neil. Wilmot. So we'll go back on the ground now. To Will Ashcroft. Wilmot again. Tries his luck in the pocket this time. Reed. We can finish the mark. Ashcroft. Lightning hands out of there. Didn't have any means of control. Fort. You can see what he was trying to do. To Archie. Flanders missed it. Hurried, snap and goal was simply sensational. Lockie Neal.
Missed by Sam Flanders. He's normally cleaner than that. But the boys went out there. It's a bit like this in the moment. They're going in spurts, both teams. So it's territory. This is a fantastic day. He was going to go to the spoil, and he changed his mind.
Because he was that high. Jasper Fletcher, the man Dane Zorko thinks is their best player. Just have a look at this here from Cal Archie. The hands to get the ball forward, and then in the space of a split second, great snap. Again, this is clean hands. One, Ashcroft just a little nudge forward, and then into Archie and Lockie Neal. Just doing a review or just checking one of the players.
Lockie Neal hasn't had quite as big a scoreboard impact this year, both off his own boot or setting them up, so I'd be pleased with that goal. Gives Brisbane back the ascendancy. They lead by 7. Rao back to work. Rayner. Would have thought Davies. Ainsworth, just so difficult to take clean possession and get away from the pressure that's being applied. Humphrey should be well suited. King seemed to have Harris Andrews where he wanted to, but probably say that a fair bit.
Yeah, well, he's so gangly, isn't he, Harris Andrews, that you try and release from that contest. He just knows how to impede enough, so he couldn't get a clean release there, Ben King.
Let's go, hold the meter.
And noticeably with Josh Dunkley off the ground, it's Lockie Neal is a bit more accountable for Matt Rao in these stoppages.
Farah tries to burst through. Neal got crunched. In goes Davies. Neal eventually prevails. Out of there from Berries. Well handled by Collins.
Set up behind the ball by the Suns, had the extra number. That was Sam Collins.
Stand.
Makes the full assessment. Signals he's going to go long. Farah made a promising lead, but he didn't think he could connect. He went to the sides at the front. Buttery slams it through off the left. This is an excellent opening corner. This does not look like it's going to be a pushover.
No, I don't think so. And it's on the back of a lot of good things from the Gold Coast Suns, but Jared Witts, the former captain, one of their best players, gets himself forward there. He's such a big man. He brings the ball to the ground. They've only given up one intercept mark. So again, important contest there. Gets the ball to the ground. First use for the Crummers, and they make the most of that snap opportunity.
Yep, that soft drop, which is dangerous as a defensive unit, but that's what he did really well. And that's what, week in, week out, we come here to People First Stadium and see Jared Witts play an important role, and Budrick's looked dangerous up forward.
Back and early the tap. Well done from Davies to eke out the handball. Eventually Rao to Powell. Leicester goes up, gets through to King. Easy play it seemed, but Farah kept the handball chain going to Reed. Top of the square, Ainsworth. Someone's got to kick it, and that someone was Nick Holman.
when Alex Davis first came back in for a while. Really good there around the midfield, permanent midfielder. Probably playing that Tuke Miller role, almost, you would have thought. So he's getting lively, helping out the contest, getting first use from their ruck. But just then, able to free up the hands, gets the ball out. Wow, starting to help with the spread. Like Farah, he's just been able to come in there, just create the messy contest. They keep it alive.
There's plenty to like about Davies, you're right. He's a big body. Like in the old terms, he'd be a 6'4" inside midfielder, Alex Davies. He's sort of the 192, 193 size, and he's making an impression. Just hasn't really got any consistency in his games. You know, been playing 9 or 7 games in previous years, but they're making the most of their opportunities now. So there's Davies starting half forward, pushing up into the midfield.
It's a big boy, 193 centimetres.
Yeah.
Ashcroft looked like the ball was going to stay in the maze in the middle of the ground. Howe tries to mosey on through. Rao, Zorko, Bailey. Thoughts had enough, just smashed it forward. And it worked. It worked well. Rayner, 55 from goal. Well within his reach.
Just got to be careful of that. Cam Rayner, we know he's up around the midfield. He's only going one way around those stoppages in the centre of the ground. He's going to be heading forward. Just had far too much space then.
Back Andrew places the kick out to the wing. Well shark by Fiorini. He misses Rao though. Ewell is taken high. Advantage play. And it's up to Ainsworth to use it well. Back in tight to Fiorini, then out to Witts. You don't normally handball to the ruckman. And that's another example of why.
Oh, that's high.
It was a glancing blow, wasn't it, from Ainsworth? And the umpire didn't see it. Such a glance.
His right shoulder hit Jasper Fletcher on the chin. Just see hit Ainsworth coming here. It was high. Oh, these two will be going at each other. Zorko and Ainsworth.
That's the same players from the same, isn't it, each week?
It's a classic. Those two.
He was in amongst it last week, Ainsworth. And Dane, as we know, always is. So Rao from a free kick and a set-up. He's identified a one-on-one and it favours Humphrey. And Fletcher curses.
Great kick, though. Humphrey strong in a one-on-one contest. Continuing on his good season.
He spots something he likes the look of. He might regret it now. Long made the lead, but Gardner and Starcevic were ready.
Now Jono, we spoke last night about those weighted kicks to forwards. That one to Humphreys was spot on. Just allowed him to push off his man, so kick to advantage. And so that's what the Gold Coast have to really concentrate on. Good delivery inside forward 50.
Just tries to drop it at his feet, Humphrey. Barry and Gardner. Points to make as well. So the Suns lead by 4.
Still the umpire calling. Let's watch around Gardner.
Yeah. Let's watch the arms around the waist here.
Witts. Almost. Fletcher. Not too sure with a kick like that. Rounded up by Hewlett. He had Fiorini. Off the right boot. Didn't look stylish, but it could be effective. On comes marching out. Circled by Lions players. Bailey again copying the Davies pressure. And Farah. So 2 of the inclusions collaborate with something pretty special for the Suns. The match committee will be very happy with themselves.
And so they should be, and the Suns players will be very happy with themselves. That first 5 to 7 minutes, it looked like it was a strong, powerful display, playing forward half football with the Brisbane Lions. But they've weathered that storm and now putting pressure on. So again, was it Alex Davies again coming in with a strong tackle, caused the spillage, half chance, snap, converted, and they're up and going now. This is really good. A great start from the Suns.
Yeah, fantastic. They make the most of the opportunities. So 4 goals won. They've been the one set shot, I think. So making the most of broken field play. Love the inclusion of Alex Davies. Almost offsets Dunkley. So he's 193. He's a big boy.
Big, strong boy.
You think of Dunkley in big midfielder terms, he's 191.
Plenty of emotion there around Jai Farrett, who hasn't played since round 22, 2023. He's been kicking goals in the VFL, and now he's brought it back onto the big stage. So Brisbane have to get to work. Rayner, slap dash kick. Jeffrey, Archie probably could have tackled him then because he was well forward of the mark. You can never be too sure, can you? Butterick's kick might get payoff. Dunkley versus Reed keeps him honest and then just swan dived on him. And now Starcevic. You don't want to get in Ben Long's way.
This is great to see, Anthony. This is what we haven't seen from Gold Coast Suns the last few weeks. The last few occasions, and definitely last week against the Adelaide Crows. But when they've played the Brisbane Lions in recent times, they haven't been physical. The Lions have hunted them. They need to hunt them back. They're really good signs.
Wits. A tap again. Little hand off Butterick. Anderson wasn't quite sure what to do with it, so he just took territory. Zorko, and that's an excellent take up high from Rayner. Quick thinking off to Bailey, who knew where to run to receive. Driving ball. This will test Adams. Cameron looked like he might have taken him high. Holman was already thinking how he could get the handball out. That pays off as well through Ainsworth and Davies. Anderson just waiting to connect in the middle of the ground.
Missed that.
Disappointed with that to Fletcher. Suddenly it's Brisbane attacking. Easy ball gets away from Ashcroft. Noble across the side of the fist. Ireni's had a great opening quarter. So has Butterick. So many of these Suns. Through Anderson to Davies. What an impression. And Rouse, full stretch, takes the mark. He's spoiled for choice. He just wasn't sure which one to take.
Too many.
Yeah. Now he goes short. Stubs his toes. Wilmot marks. Oh, it's not paid. Andrews. They try to guard all the exits rather than actually going to Harris then, but he's identified Eric Hipwood.
Now it's
fascinating opening quarter.
Oh, it is. Now it's Brisbane that's struggling to transition the ball from back half.
They're frustrated. They missed a golden opportunity there.
First time they've kicked 4 goals in the opening quarter of the Q Clash since 2018.
For a player of such high standing, Matt Rao, he just didn't have the composure. He knew he couldn't kick the distance and just rushed it a little bit.
Look at the pressure factor in the last 10 minutes. He's broken the proverbial Richter scale. Anderson to Rao. Tucks it under the arm with a bounce to go. Up inside 50. Anything goes back there. Andrews the big spoil. Leaves them a man down. Butterick runs straight into Starcevic, who had the composure to win the footy. Butterick turns the tables that the Suns have done all quarter. Anderson skating through to the square. King against 2. And the outnumber worked. King felt like he was denied access. And he has been paid the free.
Yeah, against Harris Andrews for the block on Ben King.
Wow. What a turnaround since the first 5 minutes where Brisbane dominated territory, didn't they?
Yeah.
Been outstanding. You look at the tackles, so beating Brisbane at the tackle count +6, winning contested possession +3. So now they've evened up with the territory.
So look at this replay here. So you're allowed to do that from Harris Andrews' point of view, but you've got to get back to the ball.
His teammates stopped him.
Yeah.
So Ben King must convert. Leaders are going to stand up. He said it himself, and they have. And despite the overcast conditions, the Suns have come out to play.
What a start. Harris Andrews confused, a bit frustrated by that decision. But again, weight of time in forward half. Just see there, he blocks Ben King. Not a lot in it, but he can't get back to the ball. Hasn't got his eyes on the ball. And doesn't allow, in the opinion of the umpire, Ben King to get to the contest. And importantly, he converts that one. Some important players performing well in this first quarter for the Suns. Fiorini 10, Anderson 10. Importantly, Matt Rao has got 10 in that matchup against Dunkley. And the little bonus, Alex Davies with 9 touches.
Cluggage, they need to get a quick look at it. Morris denied by Mac Andrews, tries to claim the mark.
It's been all around the contest turnaround, hasn't it? The back of Jared Witts, that midfield combination, just more aggressive. They've been physical. They've hunted the Lions midfielders.
Well, you look at your strong midfielders, Anderson, Davies, Rao, all had plenty.
And Rao's going to get another one late in the quarter. No one can get hold of it in the middle. There's still time here for the Suns, although Reed gets upended and Zorko absorbs.
Just created contest head of the ball. Just at least brought the ball to ground. Haven't allowed intercept marks for the Lions defenders. Create the contest. Even then, just create the contest in the middle of the ground instead of Brisbane rebounding straight back at them.
And Brisbane have rolled this spare back. Sorry, Anthony. Kawar Cheese rolled back as the extra.
Just about to say it. It's interesting because it's a sign of where they're at, isn't it?
Yep.
Under assault here, and there he is, Archie. Comes out to make a difference from the noble kick. Ainsworth, the clock might beat the Suns here even if the Lions couldn't, which they could as it turned out. They cleared the immediate danger, but a lot of thinking to be done. What a contrast to what we've seen in recent history. The Lions have bullied their way against the Suns. They've won 12 of the last 13, but this is different. This is the Gold Coast Suns circa 2025. They have a 16-point advantage in the opening quarter of Q-Clash 29.
And welcome in, everybody. I tell you what, Q-Clash up here today. What'd they say? Brisbane won 12 of the last 13 Q-Clashes. It's in for a great game this afternoon. And tell you what, Adrian, Shody, Tine, the famous in the house. G'day, Albert, what's going on? Sniper, tell you what, 40-point margin. Yeah, I don't know. Tell you what, the safe pick would have been Gold Coast in this game. As I always say, Gold Coast, they are the hardest team to beat at home, and they play exceptional up at People's First Stadium up there on the Gold Coast. But, that being said, Brisbane haven't really got into their rhythm just at the moment. Gold Coast pressure's been off the charts in that opening term. I think I saw the pressure rating up to about 253. So that's super duper high. Looking good so far, Gold Coast. 5-1-31. Leading the Lions 2-3, 15. Gold Coast Suns taking their opportunities when presented, and that's exactly what you got to do against. That's what you got to do against the Lions. Actually, cheer on Gold Coast to win, to help Freo to make the top two. Santa all. Hey, let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at the live ladder at the moment. There we go. Gold Coast there. Actually, if we turn this off. Gold Coast to be down there in ninth. They started. Brisbane up there in second. Of course, Gold Coast win this, they'll jump up into the top 8 there. But there we go. Fremantle win today, so they'll boost back up again. We don't want, and that's right, they'll only be, if Freo win, they'll be 52. That means they'll only be half a game out of the top 4. So that's probably pretty good. That's probably pretty good. So all you have to do is keep winning. We sort of don't want Brisbane to win. Line disposals. Alendi Kang, how you going? We'll have a look in a second. Let's pop on over here. Hey, just before we go any further, let's just have a look at the lineups because we didn't get to them. For the Gold Coast Suns, Sam Collins, Lockie Weller, Alex Davies, Jai Farrar, Nick Holman coming into the team, going out, Dan Rioli, Ben Jepson, Jed Walter, David Swallow, Sam Closey, and the sub is Leonard Lombard. For the Lions, Connor McKenna coming in with Zach Bailey. Kai Lohman, big out going out there for the Lions with Bruce Revel. Sam Marshall is the sub. Of course, Will Ashcroft, the only milestone player on the ground today, celebrating his 50th game. There we go, centre all. Let's have a look at the goal scorers. All singles so far. Lockie Neal, Calamachi, the goal scorers for the Brisbane Lions. For the Gold Coast Suns, there's a handful. There's Ben King, Nick Holland, Braden Fioroni, Jai Farrar, and Connor Budarak. There you goal scorers. Let's have a look at the ball magnets. We've got 3 of them, all in double figures, all on 10. Matt Rao, Fiorini, and Noah Anderson, all on 10 disposals so far. Getting plenty of the ball. Hugh McCluggage, the best for the Lions, on 9 so far. Alex Davies on 9 also. Johnny Noble running it well off the half back there for the Gold Coast Suns on 8. Lockie Neal up to 8. He's been in and amongst it so far up until quarter time, as Josh Dunkley on 7. Eric Hipwood, I saw him playing around the ground a little bit on 5. They need to get him to get a little bit of ball in hand today. There we go. Let's just roll down because we'll head back down to the ground in just a moment for the second quarter. Charlie Cameron, just the 3 touches, 3 kicks, 1 behind at the moment. Zorko hardly touched the ball in the opening term. Two disposals, 1 and 1. That's all he's had so far. Levi Ashcroft, again, just 2, 1 and 1. Logan Morris, just the 1 kick, 1 behind for him. Oscar McInerney, the big man, not doing a great deal. Line disposals, it's a good game. Disposal count, there's your disposal count. It's 109, Gold Coast Suns, 88, Brisbane Lions. Both teams having 50 inside, 13 inside 50s up in quarter time, so that's not too. Look, both teams are getting plenty of opportunity at the present stage. 7 free kicks to 2, Gold Coast Suns way. You know, as I was saying, the Gold Coast Suns, they're like a different team at People's First Stadium. When they play at home, they certainly lift. They you know, as I keep saying, they're the hardest team to beat at home. Given any home ground by any team, I think this is the hardest ground to win at People's First Stadium up there on the Gold Coast. It certainly is. Look at the tackle count for both teams, 22-18. Gold Coast Suns certainly bringing the pressure, and it's good. 7 tackles inside 50, so that shows you where the Gold Coast Suns are at in this game. Their season average is only 10.9. They're already up to 7. So they're doing fantastic already. All right, let's head back down to the action, everyone. Let's go on, take the bounce of the second quarter. I tell you what, 16-point margin, Gold Coast Suns doing it well, but still waiting Brisbane Lions to have their little bit of a run. Don't write this game off. This game could end up coming down to the kick at the end of the game. Should be exciting. All right, let's head back down to the action for the second quarter. It's the Suns by 16 points.
Second term. Let's have a look at the mindset of the Brisbane Lions in response. Anderson's 11th disposal to half forward. Fiorini picked up by Fletcher.
Back this way, Oscar. Jared, don't hold.
Weird spot. Read off the hand by Neil. Fiorini again gets in the chain with Anderson. Noble bouncing forward. Kicks on the angle across to Ainsworth. The bounce was true, so he was able to have a look at the lie of the land ahead and the lead of Ben Long.
They'll fix up the stoppages, Brisbane Lions. Can't let John Noble sit off the back of that stoppage in free space. He's their main distributor. Scored 3 goals from stoppage already, the Gold Coast Suns in the first quarter.
That's your line. Stand, please.
The 8 goals, 19 in 17 games. Ben Long. It's been a little bit quieter the last 5 or 6 weeks. Tough shot on a day like today. Whoa, they are playing tough. And they are kicking them from everywhere at the moment. And what a difference that makes. 6 goals, 1.
And it's since we spoke about when Ben King was having that long shot and missed, how important it was. Noble getting involved.
Yeah, I just think you've got to be careful getting sucked into a contest with that wet ball, Lynchy. So often we see it pop out.
And he's one, if they can get him into some space, we know, certainly in the first half of the season, using the ball really well and high possessions. We're seeing these half chances or difficult chances converted. Now they're in the game. Importantly, their experienced midfielders are in the game and they're hitting the scoreboard. So this is a really good statement over the last probably 25 minutes of game time from the Suns.
Back in the middle at full stretch. He squares things up.
Thank you, Darcy, Jared.
Just 1 goal in the last 3 weeks. So it was a big goal too, late against Collingwood. There's one under his belt now. Wow, feeds it out to Andrew. Lane aboard it, so he's able to kick it a little deeper, and that is well handled by Lester in front of Long, so he gets 1 back.
Those good hands in slippery conditions.
Froggy Lester across the defensive 50, finds Bailey. Turn to Archie, they close again, but just transgressing there. Well, back in the team today. He missed the last Q Clash victory, did Monkey Weller. So he's only had one win for the Suns against Brisbane. Could he get another one today? Witts playing a fine game so far. He's closing in on 200 games. They don't have any 200 gamers today with David Swallow back to the VFL. Brisbane has 6. Again, good strong ball movement. Lead from Farah, Leicester. They get it out. Ooh, now there's a scrap.
happening here.
High contact.
Dane Zorko's got a clip.
High contact to Brisbane. High contact to Brisbane. Straight up. Let's go.
Ben Long involved. I don't have to say from the Lions' point of view who was involved, but Dane Zorko was there.
Wilmot just thought for a split second, and then why not? Off to Will Ashcroft, streaming through the middle. Long kick forward, juggle from Morris. Collins again, important touch. Cameron. Adams stays with him almost all the way, but almost didn't get the job done. Cameron to Ashcroft, brother going past. Not easy with Suns everywhere around. Jeffrey earnest in his approach. Gave it, wanting it back. Ullman, this is Levi Ashcroft on the curl. Too deep for Morris. Back Andrew.
One of the challenges for Brisbane, their forward line, Darcy Ford's playing as a forward, so Sam Collins is getting back first.
Yeah. That was a really good call. Sam Collins dropped off Darcy Ford to make that contest and spoil.
Well read by Neil on the outward ball. He just tried to shorten the kick, and frustration from Bailey as Anderson was too good. Back through the middle to Farah. Rao powering by to receive the handball. Out to Humphrey. Even numbers ahead. All the goals. Swings it to the middle. Tried to give Ainsworth the opportunity. Zorko and Neil, those two experienced Brisbane absolute superstars. Off to Bailey. Can the Lions lift a notch here? They need to. Archie, deep and wide into the pocket to Ford. Flat hands, out of bounds.
That's on 5. Keep going. Keep going.
Out in full already.
Humphrey just didn't need that kick inside 50.
No, it went far too early.
So Adams. Best directed kick. Gardner liked it though. Back to Zorko. Punches it up inside 50 again. Cameron waiting at the front. Morris made the contest. Jeffrey's hands were pretty good to Noble. Good hassle from Cameron. Go ahead for McCluggage. Go ahead straight to goal. Time for the silky skills of Hugh McCluggage.
Well, they've scored on the back of Gold Coast Suns fumbles in the defensive 50. Just then, again, the Suns player just a little bit fumbly there. McCluggage there waiting. We saw in the first quarter as well. It's the only time when Brisbane had actually looked dangerous for the majority of the game. Just fumbled by Noble it was there, and it was should have been cleaner. McCluggage makes him pay. I saw Flanders in the first quarter just cough one up in defensive 50 as well.
This goes goal square. Quickly, goal square. Brisbane.
They needed a 2-5 straight goals for the Suns.
Yeah, I think Brisbane will be given a free kick away here. Very, very lenient on the Brisbane Lions to getting someone back into the goal square. Just restart this game.
So it could have been a 666 infringement.
Oh, absolutely, it was.
Holding Brisbane. Straight to him.
I think the tide's turned here a little bit. Rayner off to Zorko. Might have been a bit too strong, and as a result of that, Adams filled the high contact. Back Andrew took the advantage, and thankfully for him, he hit a target. That was Anderson, and then quickly to Flanders. They progress through the middle. Rao trying to hurt them the other way. How big will the punishment be? Nothing.
Just take the easy one there. Ben Long coming at you, 25-metre kick. Ben Long goes back and kicks from 40. There's no need for that. Just lower your eyes.
Oscar, Jared.
Disappointed. I think they'll be making Damon Harvey frustrated. Golden opportunities they've had on transition.
Just saw last night how important this 10 minutes before halftime is.
Rushlock up again. McCluggage runs into Farah. Berry. And again, Dane Zorko. Repelling, going for Ashcroft. Levi versus Holman. A difference in experience and strength of body there, and it's out of bounds. Contender for the Rising Star. His chances no harm last week with 2 goals. Averaging 20 disposals. Matt Rao leading the metres gain. Have impact on this game. Davies had a big opening quarter. Runs headlong into the big O. Good back up from Humphrey. The handball's fired up from Flanders without any real direction. Again, Rao forced to tackle. Brisbane prevail through Ashcroft and Zorko. And on hands and knees, McKenna. And now they're going to zip forward again. Berry. Back to Bailey. One more handball to Rayner. And then again to Bailey. And then he ran out and lost his footing. Didn't lose his cool completely. A little wayward on the hands. And Archie threw his body in. Been a miracle to find their way through all of that. Bit of collateral damage in the path, but the handball forward was good from Davies to Anderson. Now they can choke forward. Powell reaching out. Ainsworth ran into trouble, big trouble, so Powell goes again. And then Rao, another forward handball. They're taking territory whenever they can, by any means. McCluggage tosses it up into the grey skies. The fist from Jeffrey. Underneath, juggling it as well up.
Got a feeling this one's just going to open right up. The first quarter's a bit of a cider for both teams, but you can just see, look at the contact. It's on through the middle. Both teams taking it on with speed.
Oh, yeah, the intensity's really lifted from Brisbane.
The keeping's off by hand. Zorko found someone on the outside, and that was McCluggage. Content to use the left. The rise up was Mac Andrew again.
That's good confidence builder for Mac Andrew.
Something, no, but that is dead, not 15. Jeffrey, his dad played 8 games for the Brisbane Bears. As it fisted away on the kick, it's Flanders by that man Cam Rayner. So a test for Chris Fagan. 3 times he's led this club to 2nd place. And I'm sure they'd take that as a home qualifying final as they had in 2023. Not have to go the hard way as they did last year, but it ended pretty well, as we know, with the premiership. Well at a half forward. Andrew, knocked away by King. Farah has speed. Genuine express speed. He's already kicked a goal. Can he set one up for Bailey Humphrey?
Well done from Bailey Humphrey. Experienced defender there, just held Darcy Gardner under the ball, and again, when you kick into your forward, weighted to his advantage. Really well done from both.
15 goals for the season. He's set plenty up as well, Bailey Humphrey. The finishing has been just about perfect for the Suns.
It's becoming a real problem around clearance for the Brisbane Lions. So we spoke about how dominant they've been over the Suns the last couple of occasions. Today it's been a big turnaround. The Gold Coast Suns bid's been outstanding. They've charged forward as well. They've had a lot of golden opportunities. They haven't made the most of them this quarter, but this time they do. On the back of good Bailey Humphrey mark there. Just was able to move along with the play. They're really spreading from contest, better than the Brisbane Lions players at the moment.
Well, it's a good response because you felt that the intensity from Brisbane was lifting. They were trying to put the younger Suns players under the pump, but they responded and scores from stoppages, which is the wheelhouse of Brisbane. Brisbane powerful in the middle, 5-1 to 1 point.
Brisbane get this stoppage, and they come out. Well, they tried to come out the front door, but they weren't able to.
How long since we've seen this demolition around stoppage against the Brisbane Lions?
Straight back, please.
The class of that midfield lineup and the depth. We spoke about it pre-game. And we discussed the importance of Anderson and Rao, but the next wave, I don't think we expected the impact of a Davies.
Forwards kick, trying to pluck it off. Newland instead it's Archie, and that was so well handled. Kick to the absolute right place, and Eric Hipwood hasn't seen much so far, takes the mark.
They're better inside, so they just drag the extra midfielder up there, Brisbane. They might just need to bring those extra numbers up now while the Suns are dominating around the contest.
Cam, Rayner, out, please. 5 metres this way. Get out, please.
Umpires working overtime to make sure that the conditions are right. Eric Hipwood, game 196. Hasn't been a big goal scorer in Q clashes of recent times, but the experienced Lions need to step up here, and it's just got in.
Yeah, they needed that, absolutely. So against the run of play, Just get it forward there through stoppage. Just spoken about their stoppage demolition against them. But they're stuck out there, so you see Levi Ashcroft comes up into the contest. Not that he had an impact on it. Good play by Callum Archie. As the forwards need to do in these moments, embrace it. Finish for your team.
That's what he needs. Get involved in the game, get the confidence up. From an offensive point of view, certainly, but also just make sure that Sam Collins is a bit more accountable and stays with him rather than dropping off like he's done.
So Titans again here in the Q Clash.
Back this way.
Fort tries to follow. Ashcroft, just a reflex handball, and then tries again.
You can see here now, so lines forward, just coming up, just happy now to congest stoppage, just to try and arrest control around this part of the ground.
Flanders to Davies. Dunkley, crashing it forward, Hewlett on the job. Out to Powell. Left foot kick, as you saw, was a little wobbly, but able to find Butterick, and then Fiorini. The fumble, not ideal. Leicester, Rayner. Half forward is where Collins and Hipwood were in attendance. Back to Jeffrey, looking to switch. Help from McAndrew. No, really easy exit kick for him, but that's where the hard running of Ainsworth comes in.
Once again, we're noticing there's the Suns spread from contest. They're working harder than the Lions on that spread to provide options either side.
Reasonably aggressive line up to the logo. Locked away by Starcevic.
How's things looking from your angle, Ben?
Well, it's just the Suns, as you said, just post-stoppage. They're showing the Brisbane Lions a clean set of heels, so every chance they get, they're trying to stop them in their tracks.
Sharp hands again. Rayner was slowed down, so was Levi Ashcroft. Back in contest again. Well done from Reid. Didn't rush it to Davies, and they can get forward of contest again through Rao. Had Weller. There's Butterick to his left. He's got grander plans. He's heading for King.
And that's a prime example out of a stoppage. Won by the Lions, turned over by the Suns, and they get it inside 50.
Yeah, the setup's really good around there. Even though Brisbane is coming up now trying to congest the stoppage, they're still able to work their way out of it. In the main, they've been pretty clean with their hands. They actually had 83 kicks and 80 handballs, so at a 1-to-1 ratio, which with a wet ball is a good effort.
All individual goal kickers so far. That was deemed a free kick. We know he's not a high possession player, but on his day, he can kick a big goal. That one's floated right across. Get back into play. Wilmot, Dunkley, a cluggage, and that's a pretty good result for the Lions.
Darcy, Jared, thank you.
Race the footy, Brendan.
Great crowd here at People First Stadium. Can the home team maintain the rage? They have a 16-point advantage. Berry got the shock of a Rao tackle. Fletcher onto it quickly. Here's Bailey to get to a more dangerous place. Then got the handball away, but couldn't control it. Went to Hewlett. Had support from Collins and Anderson to Davies. Lots of handball again. Powell from long range. They've had a couple of wayward shots.
Anthony, you mentioned a good crowd here. Back-to-back sellouts for the Gold Coast Suns. 2 weeks ago, they had the big game against Collingwood, which they won. And probably the more Collingwood supporters here on that particular night, but they've got a great supporter base down here tonight.
Venturous run from Wilmot, just making it up as he went along. Choppers the kick back to the wing. Collins rips it straight down. Anderson with a dab hand goes short to Flanders. Leads to May. King, first of all. Long holds his ground about 35 out. And Reid will be the long target. Oh, mixed it up again. He tried his luck with Humphrey. Wilmot working overtime at the moment. Oh, fumble from Bailey. Wilmot in reserve. It's the kick away. Usually in the right spot for Hipwood. Out of the right boot. See that too often. But when required, as it was, Davies to Flanders, giving up some territory here to try and set the ground up ahead. Adams striding out in just his 4th game. It's gone pretty aerial, but rise with Fiorini. Line's pretty well set here, but Jeffrey decides to pump it into the pocket. Humphrey engaged and owns the cue for Leicester.
Darcy, Ethan, you going up?
Red alert here for Brisbane. So strong around these stoppages today, the Suns.
Humphrey and also Rao underneath, so to Flanders. Fiorini tracked the line of the ball, ran into Rayner. Jeffrey scouting and scooting, getting it forward. Again, the hands were up, and again, Starcevic forced to defend, but to do that a lot today.
He just hits hard, Cam Rayner, doesn't he? Fiorini took a bit of time to get up. He hits hard, whether he's attacking the ball, attacking the player, or even whether when he's got the ball, he's prepared to take the opposition on.
He was trying to smile through that, Fiorini.
Yeah, and hold his ribs.
Reed rocking down there against Fort. Free kick to the Lions.
Thank you. Stand. Play on.
Done with the 2-ruck policy for now, Brisbane. Horses for courses, said the coach. Starcevic, that is wide and wayward.
Just don't have the same composure that we're used to when we look at the best of Brisbane.
1 foot on the line. Don't hold, don't block.
Going just in a holding pattern for now. Weller takes off. Bangs it deep. Reed, Farah, all there. Trying to find the footy. Anderson.
This start by the Suns is very, very important. Just have a look at the radar, boys. I might need a snorkel here in the second half. The rain's on its way.
Yeah, it was scheduled to come in at about 3 o'clock. So, and as we said earlier in the week, there's been a number of storms go through the Gold Coast and the Brisbane area.
Fort versus Reed. Farah. Thought it was meant to be perfect every day up here.
It's been quite a different winter this year. A lot of rain.
Not something we're accustomed to in Melbourne, as the ball is in the hands of Neil. Up to Leicester. 7 minutes remaining. A lot of energy expended already. A lot of time and ball spent in the last few minutes deep in attacking territory for the Suns. Fletcher tries to clear that. That's a terrific 2-grabber from Eric Hipwood.
So forced to go shortish here, Brisbane, because the Suns have got the extra back, so they can't go long to the outnumber. Or shouldn't.
They shouldn't run though, Brisbane. They often build their game back up for uncontested mark.
Yeah.
Doing it right now, as you can see. Berry to Morris.
So Mac Andrews pretty much the spare. He'll look to jump up third here on the long ball.
Just tucks the kicker for action, and that's Adams going for it wholeheartedly. Hewlin, misplaced handball. Neil through Bailey. Our McCluggage always testing, drawing them in. Speaking of drawing them in, Bailey does receive a few of those.
And it's inexperienced players, Adams early. He's a bit in here.
Yeah, Mac Andrew came in and then jogs out of it.
He does it well, doesn't he, Zach Bailey? He just starts lowering his height from a few metres out. Adams, inexperienced. He started his career well, though. A taller man, though, just couldn't get his body weight low enough. Bit reckless.
Zach Bailey returning from suspension, 26 goals, 22 in his 17 games. Only kicked for 22 last year. Had an excellent season, mostly singles of late. Was wayward in his previous game, kicked 1 goal, 4. Could have kicked about 5 or 6 against Carlton. And hasn't quite straightened them up.
Let him run, let him
The week
run.
off.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks they've been all at sea in front of goals, which was something for most part of last year was a real issue for them.
The grand final, though, they were okay, right?
No, they came good late. They did.
Chris Fagan say early in the season, no, you can't focus on it too much, otherwise you'll go too psycho. The goal kicking.
There was some analogy from Ted Lasso, wasn't there, at one stage, I reckon, about the goal kicking?
Ainsworth. The due consideration. He just goes for 50 metres down the line and goes for Wits. Harris Andrews doing what he does like clockwork. Over it goes. So John Noble without his running mate today, Dan Rioli, who played his 200th game last week.
So this is the key now at the Gold Coast Suns. These last 5 minutes here, just continue that control around stoppage. Don't allow any easy goals. Give Brisbane Lions a sniff before half-time.
2 goals, 1 for both teams in this quarter so far. Rao again. Drew Powell and Flanders and Anderson and Ainsworth. That was a bit of a wild handball forward. Kick to Bailey.
They don't show that. A handball chain out of stoppage. That's where they've been able to pull apart the Brisbane Lions. Gold Coast Suns been very good. Just weren't able to complete that last one.
Kalachi.
Outside 5.
Ashcroft. On his own family medal, as we know, earlier in the year, in the first Q clash, along with Norm Smith. 50 games, premiership and a knee reconstruction. He's packed a bit in 3 years. Juggle from Adams. Rao, hands so clean, enables him to do that. The forward, destructive handball to Anderson, then to the square. Too deep for Reid at the back. Farrell's just not going. I think it got there anyway. Take your pick. Was it Noah Anderson or Jai Farah? It doesn't matter. It's another Suns goal.
Yeah, I reckon you're right, Anthony. I reckon it was Anderson. I reckon it snuck through. I don't think that was his intent. He was trying to get over the back of Darcy Gardner. And like we spoke about pre-game, he's kicked some important goals at this end on this ground. He's got over the back and, I think...
He's going to try and steal it.
I think Jai Farah might actually steal that on the stat sheet.
Do we go to goal review to check who's kicked the goal?
If there was bonuses involved or Coleman medals, you'd be having to review it. Was it over the lining tiny? Oh, it's close. I don't know. Just give it to Jai Farah in his first game back. Noah Anderson, he's doing plenty right.
Yeah, he's been credited with it. Dunkley to Ashcroft. Pinched it again, Anderson. Again they charge. Straight out the front. Anderson, you won't take that one off him. Oh, befitting of the star he's become.
That's a very similar position to the match winner against Collingwood, and it's a very similar position to when they kicked the goal after the siren. He kicked the goal after the siren to beat Richmond here 3 years ago. That spot, he loves it. Again, centre clearance, out into space, gets back, and under pressure, just flushes that straight through. That's really good. Look at him get involved. He's got the pace to get out into space here. Good hands.
Well, okay, quarter. Noah Anderson, 12 disposals, 2 clearances, 4 score involvements, 2 goals. He's been outstanding. It's just what they needed before half-time to re-establish their dominance in the first half.
And they have.
Oh, here he goes again.
Slowed that time. Davies was collected across the shoulder.
Well, he's been impressive too.
Loved his first half. I think he's well on PB pace here. This will be his 16th disposal. I think his PB is about 22.
Davies just bangs it up to the square. Reid! Oh, just might bring it down. Ainsworth farms it out again. Ailey Humphrey got set. It's another near thing.
Keep coming, Darcy.
He's been pretty dominant this quarter. They could have been further in front on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Just missed a few chances going inside 50, but +6 inside 50s. Been really good in the air as well. They haven't allowed Brisbane to take many intercept marks at all.
Chris Fagan is getting that gun to work out because what he's seeing, he doesn't like. Just fraying a bit late in the quarter. Starcevic, no means to control that one either.
And it is, when you're coming into this game, easy to reflect on the Suns' performance last week. It's too easy to forget what they did here 2 weeks ago against Collingwood.
I think
What was a dominant display.
Don't know spoke this pre-game.
Yeah,
They're really focusing on the Collingwood win and all the positives in that game.
They did have one more inside 50 last week, didn't they? I mean, there was some obvious things they got wrong, but they actually did a bit right.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, as Dimmer said, that connection piece to hit the forwards.
Sorko and Fletcher again. It's getting closer to the Suns' goal. The tackling is just relentless, and they are lining up. Davies, oh, it had depth on the kick. Ainsworth, and he means to just hack it out of there. Butterick, more systematic, the Suns. Well, they pile on to Humphrey. The ball got out. Ashcroft, bit more surety that time from Archie. He needed Starcevic though, and that's an underground grubber. Noble has the wheels to try and get clear. Hunted down. Hewland into the pocket. Ben Long. There's no stopping them at the moment.
Time now.
Yeah, Brisbane are struggling to get the ball out, and that's because pressure on the ball, and they're set up well, the Suns behind it, and then that composure to hit a target. This is a huge opportunity now to get a goal just before half-time and then stop the Brisbane Lions scoring in that last minute and a half will be critical to the result of this game.
Under grey skies, on the coast, the kicking at goal has been magnificent, and so has just about everything the Suns have done. They're going to take some stopping from here.
Oh, this is impressive. Actually, look at the breakdown there. Goal scoring. Set shots, 4 goals, 1. On the snap, 3 goals. On the run, 3-2. It's impressive. They're making the most of the opportunities because you can get the core of your game right, but the finishing's as critical.
We spoke about it again pre-game. Take your chances against high-quality teams. Yeah, the reigning premiers, arguably the best team in the competition. You'll get chances, but you've got to take them to get your confidence up. Otherwise, they'll crush you. And the Suns continually take their chances playing good football in all aspects of the game.
So the matchup, Brandon Starcevic throughout the day, so he hasn't had a lot of the footy, but 2 important goals.
Minute 24 for the Lions to try and reduce that margin. Dunkley sends it end on end. They just creep a little closer by Charlie Cameron. Noble, zippy enough. Cameron will match in that regards. Hipwood puts the head down. Andrew, goes the tackle on Cameron from Noble. They all look to the umpire. And the free is going to Rayner. Insufficient.
And these are the things you don't want. You don't want Brisbane to go in with just an ounce of confidence. I mean, they know they can get back in this game in the second half, but a confidence-boosting snap from Cam Rayner from row 6, deep in the pocket. This will be a huge boost on the final siren.
35 points the difference. The left foot of Rayner was on target, but it was well short. Ewan does what's required.
And the opposite result, if you can stop it and just maintain possession here, just see out the last minute.
Noble gets it as far away from goal as possible. Starcevic with the juggle. Quite tender enough to be paid a mark. He's got an egg under there somewhere.
Clear space for me. Again, here.
Plenty of numbers around the footy, but on the outside, McCluggage. Is he going to stay in the field of play?
Throw it in.
Throw it in. So Power got a hand to it inside. The chalk will have this probably the last stoppage. With 40 seconds to go. This quarter was so much tighter. And all of a sudden, 3 quick goals led by Noah Anderson. 2 goals, 2 brilliant goals in a minute. Rayner tries to fire back, but again, denied.
Just 2 of the half chances for Cam Rayner and indeed the Brisbane Lions late. They just haven't taken.
Let him run. Thanks, Cam.
Just weathering a bit of a 2-minute storm here, the Suns.
Stand.
Fiorani takes every possible second he's allowed. Kicks in the read, which direction? Farah.
Play on.
That'll suit them fine. Be interesting when how the assessments made here from Chris Fagan at half-time about the approach to the second half. Does he just back them to play the same way? We know last year they were comeback kings.
He typically does. He doesn't make too many changes.
They're going to need some sort of change. It might just be an attitude, because they are right on the back foot. Gold Coast Suns trying to turn the tables on history. The Lions have won 12 of the last 13 Q clashes, but number 29 could be quite different. It is half-time after a 5-goal-to-2 second quarter. Noah Anderson, the leader, quite brilliant. The margin is 33 points at the half. Super Saturday Live continues.
All right, there we go. It is half-time here at People's First Stadium, Albert. The Gold Coast Suns doing it well. 10-3, 63, 4-6-30, the Lions. Lions only managing 2 goals, 3 in that second term. The Gold Coast Suns, however, 5 goals, 2. I tell you what, I was just having a little bit of a look at the fixture. And I tell you what, Brisbane Lions, they could be in trouble of actually missing the top 8, missing the finals this year. That's how hard the run's got to come home for them. And I tell you what, if they continue to play like they're doing, they just seem to be a little bit lazy, lethargic out there, the Brisbane Lions. It's not the silky smooth Lions that we've come to know, Eddie G. It's definitely not the silky Lions. As I said, this will be an interesting response to see what they do after half time. You would expect knowing the Brisbane Lions to start and get a little bit of hunger back in their game coming into the third term. You'd want to see a bit of a fight back from them. They don't want to let this game slip. It's 33 points, but I tell you what, the Brisbane Lions are good enough to peg this margin back against the Gold Coast Suns. I tell you what, this is why I picked Gold Coast Suns last week against the Magpies up there on the Gold Coast. They're just the toughest team to beat, People's First Stadium. But look, it's a little bit like that game. Maybe Brisbane Lions will step up their game and come back in that final term. But you just never know. Looking at that fixture, I tell you what, Brisbane Lions, they're a chance. I was just having a look at the Brisbane Lions before we get in to have a look at some of the rest of it. This is the Brisbane Lions final 4 games after this. They take on Collingwood next week at the MCG. And then Brisbane take on Sydney Swans. They played at the Gabba, but the Swans are going reasonably okay. Look, that's a game that probably Brisbane should win, but you never know. A game after that, Brisbane play Fremantle over at Optus Stadium. And then, of course, a final game, Brisbane take on Hawthorn. So it's no... I tell you what, it's no certainty that even Brisbane will make the top 8. This is why the top 8 is so interesting and it's so important just to win the games. Rain second half. Yeah, they were saying about 3 o'clock for the rain to come in, so that's only about 24 minutes away. So, I mean, if the rain gets going, I don't know whether that's going to help Brisbane or the Suns just at the moment. Yeah, I tell you what, it's a big margin if the rain comes and the ball becomes even more, more slipperier. Freo could be above Brisbane, not too far away, Eddie G, if all things go well. I tell you what, she's interesting. Let's have a look at that ladder at the moment. As we look at the Brisbane Lions copping a little bit of shellacking at the moment, their percentage is dropping, which is danger for them. Gold Coast Suns' percentage is rising up to 117, 7th. Don't forget, Gold Coast Suns still have that spare game to play against Essendon. You would think that is game in the bank, so that would put them on 52. So the Gold Coast will be somewhere up here. I would expect Gold Coast to... I'll tell you what, she's going to be tough. Geelong will definitely, I think, finish top 4. They got easy run home. Adelaide Crows are on 4. I tell you what, this is going to be real interesting final run home to the season. I really do think Brisbane Lions will slip out of the top 4. I think they'll be somewhere down here. I think they'll end up finishing 7th or 8th or somewhere, Brisbane Lions. Hey, we'll come back to have a look at some of the stats in a moment. Let's just head back down to the commentators for a bit of analysis.
They came into it and they hunted the Lions. So look, first 5 minutes of the game, you're a bit concerned, Al, but after that, I thought the Suns mids just hunted the Lions mids back into the game, and that's why they're in front at halftime.
I think for me, that's why it's a more impressive first half. The fact that they got one of the best teams in the competition, put a couple on their chin, held the ball in their forward half, but they responded. They weathered that storm and worked their way through it, and it was their leaders up front.
And we showed before the game Noah Anderson in career best form.
Oh, yeah.
24 disposals in the first half, kicked the 2 goals. He's been in everything.
He has. It's just a dominant display in the middle of the ground, and his ability to hit targets inside forward 50 and put his teammates into better positions. And we saw just before half-time, obviously, that great goal just to really ignite the crowd and his midfield.
It was great. It was the highest possession count from an individual in the Q Clash at half-time. 24 disposals in the history of the Q Clashes. So what's this? Q Clash 29. So he's been just unbelievable. Around the contest, he had 4 clearances, kicked those couple of goals, but it's when they're spreading on the outside as well as around too. He gets on the outside. The dominance around the clearance has been really impressive. You very rarely see the Lions get cleaned up in stoppage numbers. The Suns have kicked 6 goals from stoppage. The Lions have only kicked 1. So we can go a long way back to see stoppage dominance against the Lions like this. And just it's on the back of Jared Witts, who's been outstanding as the ruckman. Then they've been able to just work up off the back. And as we spoke about, I think the Suns mids are spreading cleaner from the contest, Lynchy.
Yeah, from our elevated position in the commentary box, you can see they're working harder from the contest. They don't always get rewarded on the outside, but they're working harder and getting extra numbers to the next contest, which is our concern. We didn't know how their first stringers were going to go, but we didn't know what their second wave was going to provide.
And Brisbane just starting to get a bit desperate here, weren't they? And with a wet ball, you can't get sucked into the contest. You leave John Noble out the back as a dangerous weapon. He helps set the play up here and set the shot at goal up. And then we'll go to the next one as well. And you can see, Alec Davies has been impressive as well. I've been impressed with his first game back in. 193 centimetres, that big body midfielder. So they've just been able to work in transition. Sam Flanders is coming up to every contest, providing that extra number, and it's worked really well in transition there.
I think what you're seeing from Alex Davies is what they were hoping for a couple of years ago. Maybe it was a bit of injury, bit of form, but if he can maintain this level, he could develop himself into a first-class midfielder with that size especially.
That's going to be a fascinating watch, what they do through the middle of the ground there, because what they've done so far in the first half hasn't worked, so plenty to think about for the Lions midfield. And Lynchy, in terms of Sam Collins, comes in today. He made his presence known right from the get-go with 2 intercept marks in the first quarter.
And I think that's the thing is not just about disposal or intercept marks. He does that really well. He knows when to drop off his opponent and to support his teammates as well. So he's had the couple intercept marks. He's only had the 6 disposals. But we've noticed again, under pressure from the midfield, there's been dump kicks from the Brisbane Lions, and Sam will drop off his teammate or off his opponent and go cover his teammate with a big spoil. And I think he's a really important player, not only today but over the next couple of years. And if they have ambitions of contending in finals, he's going to play a huge role.
If Brisbane have ambitions of contending for a grand final or going back-to-back, 2 ruckman's not going to work. I just don't think it today.
Especially today.
I think Oscar McInerney's struggling. He looks a bit sore. And Fort, playing as a permanent forward, is not going to be the answer either. So that's helping Sam Collins and Mac Andrew.
Yep.
Following this game on your Super Saturday, we head over to Perth for Western Derby 61. Never disappoints these games. Fremantle and the West Coast Eagles will be taking a close look at this one. Harley Reid, he'll have something to say in this game, but it's going to be a big one on Super Saturday in Perth.
We can have...
All right. We're back. There we go. A little bit of analysis there from the commentators from the opening half. The Suns can hold on to this at their home. Yeah, I'll tell you what they did against the Pies last week. That is for sure. So you can certainly see how much improvement the Gold Coast Suns have made over the past 12 to 18 months. That is for sure. And of course, Damien Hardwick certainly brought a good game plan in here. They say it's a little bit like the old Richmond plan. I tell you what, he's got the players up and firing, playing for each other very, very well. Hey, let's have a little bit of a look at some of the goal scorers and disposal getters on the ground so far. Ben Long, Noah Anderson with 2 each for the Suns, doing really well. Ben King, Humphrey, Holman, Fiorini and Farah Is that how you say it? And Buderick singles for the Gold Coast. For the Brisbane Lions, though, Lockie Neal, McCluggage, Eric Hipwood, all singles with Callum Archie for the Lions. There we go. Best on ground so far by a mile. There we go. Noah Anderson, the only one in the 24 disposals up into half time. I tell you what, he's on fire, Noah Anderson. 24 disposals, 11 kicks, 13 handballs, 3 marks, 2 tackles, 4 clearances, 2 goals. Kicked a ringer, ding, ding, from out of side 50. The ball slid through the goals and snagged a major. Noah Anderson on fire so far. Tell you what, there's one that Brisbane Lions need to put a tag on or something at going into the second half, because he's tearing them apart. Alex Davies, next best on 18. Matt Rowell on 17. 6 clearances, not too bad. Hey, Bags is on top for the Brisbane Lions there. Hugh McCluggage with 17 touches, 11 and 6, 4 clearances with a goal. Johnny Noble creeps up the table on 16, doing a good job there. Lockie Neal, 15. There we go. Zach Bailey, 15 also. Will Ashcroft, 14. Is this the full strength Lions defence, or someone at the back? Well, as far as I know, it's pretty much strength. We'll have a look at the ins and outs again. I think Kai Lohman was out for Brisbane today, but I don't really think anyone's missing that I'm aware of. I haven't had a look at the full injury list of the Brisbane Lions, but as far as I'm aware, they're there. But I tell you what, they just look a bit sluggish and lazy out there today. They just haven't got their rhythm going. It's like they're on the dance floor with 3 left feet at the moment. There we go. There we go. Of course, Gold Coast Suns, they're like ballerinas out there. Everything's just working smoothly and efficiently out there for them. Eric Hipwood on 10 there. Ben Haynes with 11. Callum Achie. Let's see some of the big names for Brisbane there. Dane Zorko on 9. 6 kicks, 3 handballs. Has not even laid a tackle yet so far. McAndrew's doing all right as the third man down back with 9. Levi Ashcroft hasn't really come into it. 7 touches, 3 kicks, 4 handballs. Jared Witt's doing well in the ruck there. 5 touches, 28 hitouts, 2 clearances. Charlie Cameron, he was pretty much unsighted in that second term with the 5 touches, 4 kicks, 1 handball. And we go down. Logan Morris usually does a bit more. He's only had 2 kicks, 2 disposals, 1 behind for him at the moment. So, and even Oscar McInerney, the big ruckman for Brisbane's having a quiet one. He's only had 1 disposal, the handball, just the 1 tackle, 1 clearance, 11 hitouts. So he's not doing a great deal as well. Team stats up until half time. There we go. It is plus 28 to the Gold Coast Suns. You would think they'd be on in front on most of the stats there. You know, as I said, if Brisbane were a little bit cleaner with the ball, using it more wisely, you know, they'd be a lot closer in this game. But the Suns, everything just working their way. Look, the Suns butchered a couple of inside 50s for sure, so they could have been even further in front. But, you know, they're doing the majority of the things right. They're all players are sort of playing their role well, doing the job well. As I said, Brisbane Lions, they need to start and get on their bike and putting some pressure back on the Gold Coast Suns like they can do. They can hunt and chase hard and run hard, the Brisbane Lions. I just haven't seen that really happening at the moment, especially going inside forward 50. They need to find a little bit more. 213, 185 disposal count overall. It's only 8 kicks the difference, 20 extra handballs, so they're going at about 1-on-1. Pretty much both sides there, kick to handball ratio. Inside 50s, as you see, I think it was all tied up at quarter time. Gold Coast Suns had 6 more entries up until half time. Inside their forward 50, 32-26. Lions a little bit under there. You can see the disposal efficiency, what we're talking about. 80% the Gold Coast Suns disposal efficiency. That is fantastic. Brisbane Lions down on 67. They really need to lift that up for sure. Efficiency inside 50. 53, that's a great number there for the Suns up until halftime. 38, they just dropped off. They just need to pick up in all departments, Brisbane, to get back into this game. Free kick count pretty similar, 10-8. Nothing been untoward in the free kicks. I think it's been reasonably well umpired this game. They've sort of let this game play out a little bit. Not really too many ticky-touch ones, so it's great to see. Also, hit-outs, Suns by 5. Clearances, Suns only by 2, so both mids getting their hands on the ball. 6 to 7 Lions of +1 out of the centre. The Gold Coast Suns +3 round the grounds in the clearances. Contested possessions, both teams contesting it reasonably well, but Suns possessing it marginally more, +17 there. Turnovers both at 34. So you can see most of the stats aren't too, big a difference between. It's just the way each team is using the ball. 59% for the Suns to win on the chat poll. I didn't even have a look at the chat poll. 59%. There we go. I think most of the people might have voted early and just expected Brisbane to win. But I think, I don't even know if I put my tip in, but I did tip the Gold Coast today in this match. The marks, they're +4 to the Suns. Marks inside 50. Look, both defences seem to be holding well, but the Gold Coast Suns do look better going inside forward 50. They're getting it inside a little bit faster. As I said, the Gold Coast, they have butchered a couple of inside 50s when they probably just had too many options, and some of the bids are just a little bit slow and wrong options to deliver. So, there's still more upside to the Gold Coast Suns going into this second half, but certainly a lot of upside for the Lions. They can only go up on their game at the moment. They certainly need to lift in what they're doing. Just looking at the tackle count there, we did see Gold Coast Suns pressure rating up to about 253 at one stage. I tell you what, that's off the charts. I think it's around 190 is this AFL average on the pressure rating. So that was off the charts there for the Gold Coast Suns. Brisbane Lions, however, their pressure rating's right down. As I said, they need to lift that. Tackles inside 50, 11 to the Suns. Fantastic numbers to see. We always like to see these in big double digits. Already surpassed their season average, and it's only half time. Brisbane Lions right on season average. They need to do that. They need to lift in that department as well. Now, let me just go back to the lineups. These are the players. I really don't see anyone there at the moment that's sort of missing. Kyle Lohmann for the Brisbane Lions, he usually brings a bit of spark and flair, of course, to the Brisbane Lions. He's out of the game at the moment. Will Ashcroft celebrating his milestone 50 games. So you think they'd lift for that. But, don't forget the Gold Coast Suns. Dan Rioli's out of the game. Dave Swallow's out of the game. So they've got a couple of good outs for the Gold Coast Suns as well in this game. But there we go. We are just about back down on the action. Hey, Rushi Patel said hi. How you doing? Welcome in, Rushi. Good to see you. Good to see you. Tell you what, we've got a good game on our hands here. Gold Coast Suns, they're leading by 33 points. Brisbane Lions have got a fair bit of work to do in this opening term of the third quarter. Tell you what, the Brisbane Lions, I reckon they'll come out hard charging. I think they'll just reset themselves. The coach will give them a good talking to at half time and say, boys, we've got to get back to the basics. We're going to start to lift our game plan, our pressure, our tackles, and get our ball movement a little bit better. But I tell you what, the rain is bucketing down there now at People's First Stadium. It's coming down, and that is going to make it a little bit harder for the Brisbane Lions to get this ball moving like they want. Especially in this rain that's pelting down. It's going to be a slippery, wet ball out there at the moment. So the Gold Coast Suns have certainly set themselves up for victory in this match. 33-point leaders here at half time. Tell you what, this rain's going to make it tough, make it interesting. Pasaway Natine is going to make it interesting. All right, folks, hey, that's enough of me for now. Let's head back down to the action for the third quarter. That's the Suns by 33 points.
To see the change, you look at the Brisbane change, what they do around the midfield. So Berry goes in to the midfield. Now, that might be a tag. He has been known to tag before. He's done some good jobs on Clayton Oliver, especially in the final. He's done some other ones as well. So whether that eventuates...
So would you go him to Anderson?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Anderson would be the one.
Yeah, he's the one. Well, you just can't allow a player to have so much dominance. So 24 disposed the most by any player ever in a Q clash by half-time for both teams.
Berry looks like he's wandering around towards Noah Anderson. Anderson's trying to get to Lockie Neal to make it difficult. So, see with the spread from the contest where they settle.
It's going to take a massive effort from the Lions. We saw it regularly last year in big games. They could be top of the ladder tonight and they could stay there if they beat Collingwood next week. But that's a fair way off right now. The Suns have set them a big task as the third quarter begins. Powell took it from Rail again. Gardner, not easy going for anyone out there. Marshall puts the tackle on the strength of Weller. Flanders, bit of width to the outside. Weller up to the goal square. King couldn't get to the contest. Starcevic, Barra, long. Seems likely to head over the boundary line.
It's one of those players, you always know he's in the area, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
Just keeps active, doesn't he? Pressure.
He's one of those players that can hurt you as well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
you're very aware where he is.
Eyes in the back of the head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dunkley watching Rao. As we've talked about, they've been so damaging. 3 goals from throw-ins alone. Is that a fourth? Oh, Farris put it through. The rain and the goals are pouring down on the Gold Coast.
This is a demolition out of stoppage. This doesn't happen to the Brisbane Lions. That's 7 goals to 1 from clearances. There's only a couple of clearances difference in the raw numbers, but you can't have this. Defensive 50 stoppages from a Brisbane's point of view, they're getting ripped apart. We've spoken much about Jared Witts. I think they felt that Jared Witts might have Ned Moyle push past him this year. That hasn't happened. And he's making a huge statement to be one of the premier ruckmen in the competition.
29 hit-outs already.
He's barely been beaten all year.
Yeah.
The Suns would argue that he really hasn't been in individual contest. Rao hit a stride out of the middle. They better get ready again. King made the contest. Ainsworth, another snap. This one misses by much.
Just going straight into the centre bounce in this third quarter. So they've been able to establish that, re-establish the dominance from the first half.
Well, Andrews had to try and reset himself. He couldn't, though. Humphrey doesn't bring the ball down. Scraps after it again. Well done by Lester, Neil, and McCluggage. Wobble it just back to the wing. McAndrew with Morris. Anderson so devastating late in that second quarter. McAndrew thinks it might be time for a run. They've turned the ball over. Can they hurt them the other way? McCluggage, little chip, gets away from Hipwood. Instead it's Davies to Noble. Had a loose, he had a couple loose, and it's Rao. Really getting out into the open spaces. Weller was able to size it all up and spot Ainsworth. And Brisbane had no answers whatsoever.
Fantastic option. Just didn't panic. He had options everywhere inside 50. They had an outnumber. Just see Rao too. The evolution of Rao's game. 12 months ago, he would have just chased that ball like a cane dog.
Seems pretty simple the way they're going, and so it proves. Nothing has changed.
They're making a statement here, and it's composure with the ball. I think for years we watched the Suns in frustration. They'd work hard to get the ball and blast away and turn it over in their forward 50. But again, pressure here caused the turnover, but they capitalised going the other way.
You think Matty Rowell in the past, he would have just kept hunting that football. And that's not a knock on Matty Rowell. It just shows the evolution he's done. And that's why now, the Sun, he's up to 21, I suppose, just after half time. He would have been happy with that for a full game.
You're right, that was never the criticism of Matt Rowell be the way he works hard, but he was just burning himself out, not getting an outside ball, but now he knows that I can contribute on the outside as well, fatten his numbers, build his confidence and become a weapon on the outside.
6 of the last 7 goals. It's the biggest halftime score since 2016 in a Q Clash.
He still prefers this sort of stuff too. Wet, cold afternoon, inside.
He's been able to get first access to the ball, so clearly they've gone to work on their setups and how they free him up, because he's been first to the ball a lot.
bit of play to the ruckman again, and the juggling Jared Witt show.
He's been dominant. They've dominated the air.
Ben Long got a little break on Starcevic. And the delivery, if they could just bottle this.
Hey, closer.
And that's what every coach would say, of course. But Chris Fagan can't do much. Just sit back and cop it.
Players come from everywhere to go and give Jared Witts a pat on the back. This is going to be another stoppage goal here.
200 games in a couple of weeks for big Jared Witts. What a journey it's been. This snapshot, whether it be from set shot or in general play, it is a sight to behold.
There you go.
Snapshot. I like that. That's what it is.
Those half chances, we thought you need them early, but it's kept going. And this is now, that's a good mark in the conditions for a man's 6'11", wet weather, and that pass just to hit Ben Long in between two defenders from the Brisbane Lions. 8 goals 3 to 1 goal 2 from stoppages.
Leads all comers on the ground with 3 goals now, Ben Long. And he is pumped.
Back this way.
This has become a percentage booster for the Gold Coast Suns. And I mean, we laugh about that, but percentage could play a part in the run to September. The one-way traffic out of the middle is going to continue.
Last 2 centre bounces, they've been Matty Rail free kicks.
Damien Hardwick didn't think he was getting enough a few weeks ago. Made that known.
Made a statement.
Yeah. Jeffrey just had enough length on the kick. Now stayed upright. Delivery was excellent to Flanders.
Doing as they will now. At ease, the Gold Coast Suns.
Just try to tailor the kick for Humphrey. Lester clears the immediate danger. No guarantee it's not going to bounce straight back, though. Flanders already thinking what he was going to do with it. Davies happy to see off McCluggage and barrel it back into the pocket. Might have gone a little too far.
Must move outside 5.
There's another example before. Will Powell spread for the contest to get out into space. They're just sort of, Brisbane are reactive at the moment and certainly not working as hard from that stoppage congestion.
Getting belted in territory. 39-26 inside 50 count. Brisbane had the first 5 of the game.
Starcevic backs, belts it out to the wing. Juggle for Morris. McAndrew handling things very nicely. Witts again to Rao. They're keeping them guessing. Farah Davies just squeezing out. A little kick into the pocket. The boundary up almost went for 6.
Yeah, the other compounding problem is the Connor McKenna hamstring and having to bring Sam Marshall in. She's still got 2 ruckmen out there in these conditions, and the ruckmen aren't going well. You would have had to have made a sub with one of them. Probably now you're probably making that sub, get an extra runner in the game.
Zach Bailey. Harris Andrews. And Neil is slow going. Takes a chance, but there was Suns ready and waiting.
There's 4 of them converging there.
Now back to Noble. Insignificant again today. Out wide for Fioroni. It was good from the get-go. Back to Ewan. Onus is on Brisbane to win the ball back. Suns in no real hurry. McAndrew cuts the kick short. Farah is far off the mark. Dunkley to Neil to Gardner.
Dump kicks. Here it comes again.
Yep. McAndrew ran around it a little bit, which enables Morris to lay the tackle, which goes under order from the umpire. Marshall to Hipwood. Stepped over the line.
The difference between the 2 teams, the kicking efficiency, about 20% difference. So, Brisbane, we laud them for their work pre-game, and especially Dane Zorka, the way they just cut teams to ribbons with their kicking skills.
Wow, again, somehow was able to shrug off Ashcroft, get back on his feet, kick it forward. Gardner, Lester, getting up ground all the time. Berry tries to change that trajectory, back to the wing. They had some marking options that time. Hipwood doesn't take it, and so Weller, now Dunkley Positive move for Charlie Cameron.
Oh, the rare 450 entries and indeed marks. And this is one of those that in these sort of days you don't convert these opportunities, but if Brisbane are going to be any chance, Charlie Cameron, he's been in some reasonable form in recent weeks.
Yeah, 3
He's going to have
goals.
to take this one.
Previous 2 weeks to last week, just the one. Settles over and has a great record against the Suns, 43 goals in 18 games. He's going to need to go pretty big today if they're going to make the comeback. Really coming down.
Yeah, it's driving rain now on already a reasonably soft surface here at People First.
It's as if the Suns aren't even feeling it, isn't it, at the moment?
Oh, much cleaner.
Jeffrey. It's at least made the contest. Davies goes to work, but he was unaware of what was behind him, and it's the relentless Dunkley.
That's just a reminder of the extra pace at AFL level.
Off to Zorko. This looks more promising. Bailey reaching for it. Took a while to control it. Hipwood, if he can find his left, ideally. He can't. He's lost the footing. Jeffrey storms off. Linking nicely through the middle with Powell. Flanders with Wilmot not far away. Anderson again. Second handball for Starcevic, but he runs straight into Bailey and Humphrey. That was awkward.
Got to give him a Gold Coast to continue on with his handball game. But the same amount of handballs to kicks virtually. Even these wet conditions. Continued on with the policy of gaming hard. We saw it during the Richmond years.
That's a little error, which could still compound. No, it's high against Hipwood. Joel Jeffrey. Noble breaking. Coming up for his 20th disposal. And it's a good one. It's a long.
It's beautiful. Straight lead. He just came straight back at the kicker. I love the angle, and then all of a sudden the Brisbane Lions defender just can't make up that gap, and he jumps early.
That's the hardest thing when you're a defender and your forward's in good position, jumps early. You don't see the ball and you can't really get a fist around. See that early jump made it near impossible for Ryan Lester. Good pass, but even better mark.
He's right back in form, Ben Long. His 5th disposal and his 4th goal. This is extraordinary.
I love watching this kicking in wet weather conditions like this. And this is the difference. And we underestimate how important this stat is. Maybe we don't. Well, because of our old coach used to just hammer us about it, but it's just so important. So this is where they got their momentum from early in the game. They took their opportunities and then they've grown in confidence. And now their goal kicking game is just on fire. You feel like you're going to kick goal from every angle.
That's right. You kick a goal from the boundary line and all of a sudden the next mark you go for, you're more confident. And they're just continually flushing their set shots. And Ben Long, that's fantastic enthusiasm. They're up and about, the crowd's up and about.
7 goals won from set shots from the Gold Coast Suns.
Equal career high 4 goals for Ben Long. He's got a quarter and a half to add to that. A rarity, 3 out of the middle going the way of the Lions. Ashcroft has, I think, the second best free kick differential in the competition. 27-4 and 6 against for the year. Sends it on a straight line to goal. Hipwood almost able to reel it in. Dunkley was trying to make the move through the pack. Crash back into his tackle mode.
It's a belting round contest. That was Brisbane's first clearance win for the quarter.
That's extraordinary.
Absolutely hammered against the team that they have bullied and owned for the last 2 or 3 years.
Can they grab a score from a clearance? Opportunity for Fletcher. Tried to creep a little closer. Tug of the jumper was effective by Davies. Slowed him down. There's Rowell again. Trying to do some hunting. Ashcroft. Bailey will need the bounce. Got the bounce. Goes baseline. And kicks the goal at last. Is that the start of something?
Well, it might give him a little bit of confidence after being belted in most aspects of the game. Zach Bailey, we know he's got that speed and ability to turn in tight situations. So to scrap out by Will Ashcroft, and he's done this really well. After doing so much right, the Suns defenders just allowed him to get around, but he's a high-class half forward that's well and truly in contention for all Australian honours.
Straight in, Nathan. Go, mate.
Reasonable to say, John, they needed that one.
Yeah, I think so. They need multiple goals now, don't they? So they need to string 2 or 3 together.
Rocky out the circle. Thank you. Eyes up.
First goal of the third term for Brisbane after 4 for the Suns. Still time for them to create something, but it's a long way back. Free kick to Butterick.
Other centre backs.
Strong body of Davies.
Play on.
Off to Humphrey. Gives it a belt. Oh, it's another one. It's a banger. Bailey, Humphrey, if you don't mind.
With a wet nurry as well. 60 metres. It's a good Bunnings build-up.
The Bunnings build-up, another stoppage goal. It starts centre bounce. Alex Davies hacks the ball forward, and as they do, they're not allowing the ball just to bounce out. Gets the free kick, and Brisbane just a bit asleep here. Bailey Humphrey comes around, and from 55 on the run, flushes that 9 goals from stoppage. This is a clinic, and many aspects where we thought there were real concerns pre-game, like Matty Rao, is he going to stand up? Absolutely, he's stood up. He's had 25 against Dunkley, who's had his measures in recent times, and Zorko. How can they stop Zorko? Hasn't had an impact on the game.
Humphrey at it again out of the middle. Over from Holman. Powell. Little skimmer. Butterick's hands were lightning. Holman to Davies. Had Ashcroft to deal with. Seemed unflustered by it all. Powell, another forward handball. We've seen so much of that today. Anderson. Dunkley lays his 8th tackle.
We've seen the Gold Coast Suns grow up before our eyes tonight. Today. Damien Hardwick's spoken about it the last couple of years.
Continue to grow, and 2 weeks ago against Collingwood, they grew up. Still a couple of flaws. Last week showed their gaps. Big brother, who's clipped them for years. They've given
the story.
Backing back Ewell. Overhands picked up by Neil. Overwhelmed again, Archie. McAndrew done everything that's been asked today. Off to Jeffrey, into Flanders. And again, into their handball game.
The spread.
Release
once again.
Fiorini. Ainsworth felt like he didn't need to take possession. Might regret it. Harris Andrews, he misses the mark, so Ainsworth gets a second chance. This time down the line to Farah. Neat little turn one way, keeping Harris Andrews guessing. Deep again towards Bailey Humphrey.
Yeah, they're just getting more players turn up to each contest. More players on the spread. Looks like they've got an extra 2 or 3 numbers, the Suns. Brisbane are helpless. Obviously, they've lost energy.
And 2 of those really important players, Rioli and Miller, aren't there. Thought that might be an issue too.
Miller, their only Ashcroft medalist.
And he's the combative one too. He's the one you're worried about not being out there today when you're talking about taking it up to the Brisbane lines.
Ainsworth wasn't far away the first time. Has to go back and retrieve it.
Gold Coast got a good spare behind the ball now too, just waiting for that quick kick out with no direction. They're well set up behind the ball, as you can see down there.
Body strewn everywhere. Reed.
We're giving up if you're going to kick that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just pack up and go hard in the lines.
Regan Fags just packs the clipboard away.
Puts away.
Puts the chewy down.
Today.
It's very unlikely to matter for the Brisbane Lions, of course, with the draw they had. Unless, of course, there's another draw somewhere. Dunkley tracked the footy, takes the mark, quickly off to Archie. So a little bit of open space and territory ahead. A heavy kick, favours the Suns. Hewlett. Darcy fought unexpectedly. Did pretty well. Gets it out. the big guy. It's the more agile opponent.
Jared, Oscar.
Look how much time we're waiting now for Oscar and Jared Ritchie. Both absolutely buggered. It's like they're wearing gumboots. Late in the third quarter. We've wasted about 15 seconds there for the ruckman to get to the contest.
Gumboots would be just about perfect for this.
Yes.
That's the
I
one.
think that's the thing Greg Swan spoke about.
That's one on Swan's list.
Yeah.
Just grab it and throw it in. Or pick it up and throw it up.
Give him a week to get his feet under the desk.
I know, he's up here today too. And that new roles, just keeping an eye on things. I reckon he would have noted that.
He's got the red pen in his hand. Flat out he's going.
Lions have fallen apart since he left. Fletcher. Stripped the ball by Ainsworth.
I think he'll have enough common sense just to say it's good for the game. What Toby Green said at half time.
I suspect that might be his attitude.
He might just knock the do-gooders on the head.
Arm straight. Keep your arm straight, Will.
58 points the margin. These are the sort of hidings that Brisbane have been regularly handing out to the Suns. Those days might be gone for a while. Rouse, rush ball, Leicester.
Yeah, this feels different to maybe the one 3 years ago where Ben King kicked a few goals. It's been around the contest today, which has been the most defining aspect.
To the numbers, Mac Andrew at the front, Newland remain poised, although the handball doesn't reflect that. Neil, thought he could turn them inside out. Ashcroft, Rao, still managed to get it to Fiorini, to Ainsworth, swings it to Farah, prepared to cop it from Leicester.
Davies around the contest there, just keep at it.
Yep.
Tackles, pressure.
So he's at 23, which is a career PB for him. Here he goes. Good size, been in the league for a few years now. Hasn't had a heap of opportunity late, but they're developing nicely today.
Well, if you play next week, I guarantee you
right.
It's trying to get started again from stoppage. Well done that time.
It's building up the depth of the midfield, isn't it, for Gold Coast Suns to compete with the Brisbane midfield.
McInerney, Andrew. Long way back, Jeffrey, Noble. Archie doesn't give up. It is Noble. Mac Andrew on the line to Rao, just keeps accumulating. Treads water, almost literally, and then kicks to the wing. Through Ford's fingers, not Ainsworth though. He wants it back from Farah. Clear path ahead for the Suns. Eventually gets to Reid. He had a long way down, so it does slow them up in their tracks. Ainsworth still swinging it in the Ben King direction. Andrews with the first fist. Darcy Ford through the hands of Berry. Fumble from Zorko. Ben King senses an opportunity. Andrews was up to it that time. Butterick fires it out. Noah Anderson. This one, he's not going to land.
And you know, you draw a long bow for everyone that's visited Warrnambool and Claymon. Alex Davies down there.
He's from
Tasmanian heritage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Adam,
I'm sure
his
there's
dad played state league footy against me many years ago.
Or maybe his ancestors started in Warrnambool. Maybe cut their teeth in their junior days.
I'm not taking that one.
I think everyone undercovered that Jonathan's got some sort of link to Warrnambool. Kick out to him. This looks better. More like the Brisbane we know and love. Bailey delivers it to the square. And Archie, well, he knew where it was going, but he'll get there in time.
And that sums up Brisbane today, doesn't it? Just not quite getting there, just off the boil a little bit.
Darcy, Jared.
Chris Fagan just having a chat to Josh Dunkley there about how things are functioning. Yeah, they're all at sea today.
Ashcroft to the square. Charlie Cameron's too much size against him there.
I can't think of a belting like this though. Like early in the year, the Easter Thursday game, they were disappointing. They come off a short break against a great side in Collingwood, but I can't think of a belting like this in recent memory for the Lions against teams that are trying to work their way up.
Yeah. Oh, this is a statement game. This is back-to-back sellouts at People First Stadium and big wins, huge wins.
And taken to ground.
And arguably you could say that the Collingwood game was the biggest win in Suns history. But this is not far behind it.
Well, just by the magnitude of it as well, and given what happened last week. And if they can do it for 4 quarters, remembering Collingwood almost really could have stolen it from him at the end.
Yeah.
You can't underestimate too the influence of the coach that makes you believe, the premiership coach, Damien Hardwick, his influence and the sell job that he would have gone to work at during the week about that Collingwood positive.
Three-quarter kick was a good one from Leicester. Not paid to Berwick, so perplexed by it. Jeffrey. Suddenly it's Flanders sending it Holman. Wilmot had to leave his man. Wise call. Races forward. Awkward though for Levi Ashcroft. Eye contact.
With 16 players back, the Suns going to be really hard to hit a target.
Goes to the numbers. Archie at the front. Goes to the cross. Rao. Into a heavy lane of traffic. Rayner. Adams doesn't quite know where to share it is. Hardcore stuff now. It suits the Suns just fine. 58-point margin. Witts, he might have hit that too hard. No, it's bounced in the field of play. Biggest Q-Clash win for the Suns is 64 points back in 2015. The lead is 58. Witts prevails again. Andrews comes up to meet Butterick. Rao. Huge influence.
Huge game.
Along the line. Fletcher. Maybe drew a bit of front on.
So Matty Rao in this term has had 14 touches.
Yeah.
In the third term, just to put the big brother away, he's really stood up.
Saw Josh Dacos get 16
He had 16 here,
2 weeks ago. I'm not able to go past that.
Play on.
3.5 minutes.
Nothing doing for Starcevic.
Good.
Can he get all tied up? Archie. Down the line, so we'll have a throw in.
Jared Witsby underrated.
Oh, I think outside of maybe Queensland and people that look week in, week out at every game, absolutely he's underrated. But he's in that elite category, no doubt about that.
Yeah, looking to go forward. Rush kick. Archie. Flying snap. Another miss for Brisbane.
I said Matty Rao 14, the highest disposals for Brisbane in this quarter is Lockie Neal with 7.
Look at the clearance. There's 6 clearances, 3 of those centre bounce clearances.
Plus 40 for disposal in the quarter.
Starcevic smashes that away.
That's a fair smacking. Plus 40 in the quarter.
Yeah, I think it's always impressive when a coach goes to work on the positive of recent times. Really the focus for them this week would have been going out to the good things they did against the Pies 2 weeks ago, would have quite quickly dropped the Adelaide game, but also what has gone wrong against the Brisbane Lions and the mentality required to combat that today.
Took multiple tackles laid by Brisbane to win that one away and just thrown on the boot. Did it stay in? Somehow it does. Noble able to get his balance back, keep the footy under control, and again they stay ahead of the game. Will launch off half-back Fiorini. Morris looking to intervene. Hewlin, yet another Dunkley tackle.
I never stops trying Josh Dunkley.
It is nearly over the line, not quite.
15 tackles last week from Dunkley, 9 so far this week.
Matty Rao hit the ball on a couple of occasions, so they didn't give him a stat for it. Just still on 14.
The ball game ends eventually. Power underneath there. Rao career high is 36 disposals. He's on 31. Crafted out of there by Noble. Found a one-on-one and cleared Reed's head. Andrews, but straight back to Bailey Humphrey. Long. The Lions do have an extra back. They win it anyway, independently. Starcevic. Coming across was Fort, and Neil goes straight into Matty Rao to the wrong turn. Five tackles, 12 clearances. Well up. Stunted on the wing, and Zorko runs straight into the trap. Dunkley can't get out the other side. Powell to Fiorini. They're a gathering storm again in the middle. Across through Hewlin. And then to Jeffrey. One more and they were into the clear. Ainsworth held up temporarily. Fiorini onto the chest of Ben Long.
And obviously Brisbane have lost hope, but the spread from Gold Coast is still there. Jeez, they're just rushing away from contest. Once they win the ball back, been really impressive. I know we focused a lot on the stoppage game, but they've really had some nice pop about them today.
And I think the harder they've worked to spread from contests and the more they got rewarded, then they keep working even more and more because they know they're not getting burnt the other way on turnover.
This for a career high, 5 goals for Ben Long. He'd been absolutely pure off the boot until then. He'd well and truly be aware of the fact that he's never kicked 5 goals.
He knew straight away. He tried to kill it back in with the body language.
Close to three-quarter time. Wilmot gets it 60 down the line. Powell fisted about 30 to get it out of bounds.
Talk about underrated players. Will Powell.
Oh, yeah. He's really developing.
He's had a few injuries. I think ACL, he's had maybe a broken leg as well. He's had a few bad injuries over the times, but he's just a bankable halfback. Can play tall, small.
Had a big week too, his second child during the week, so he's right on the tools there, and beautiful Bailey. So they've had their second child there, so big week for Will Powell.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Couple of midnight feeds.
Yeah, he's on the tools, mate. Don't worry about that.
Good, we like that. I've heard our man at Big Al, the grandfather's been on the tools too the last few weeks.
And the grandkid around at home for a couple of weeks. Coming to work for a rest.
Well, the Gold Coast Suns will need a rest at the end of this one. There's still a quarter to go, and what a performance. Another 5 goals, so dynamic after the break, just to make sure that Big Brother Brisbane, well, it's scheming something to get right back into this game. It has been astonishing. 15 goals, 6 on a wet day on the coast. 58 points is the margin. Chris Fagan looks like he's got all the worries in the world. We're gunning for top spot today. That is looking unlikely now. What a Q Clash 29 it's been for the Suns.
All right, there we go. It is three-quarter time. The Suns doing it well. They've got this game in the bag, that is for sure. It's just what the margin, what the score they can get. What are we cheering on, Anthony? 121 you need. 121. There we go, 121. We're only, what's that, 26 points away. I tell you what, it was looking like you were going to nearly get there in this third term. Gold Coast Suns came out with a barnstorming rush, putting on 5 goals, 3 in that third term. The Lions could only manage 1 goal, 2. Of course, the Lions seemed to just lift their pressure a little bit, maybe the second half of that third term, which sort of prevented the Gold Coast Suns. They did have a shot on goal, but it just veered right, unfortunately, and went through from behind for the Suns, but looking in great form to go on with this game and win comfortably. I tell you what, the Gold Coast Suns, they don't want to let up. They don't want to let up. They've got a good margin, of course, 58 points, but they don't want to ease up on the Brisbane Lions. This is what good sides should do. They should just continue to run away from the opposition and put a biggest margin as possible. Because if we have a look at the latter Gold Coast Suns there, 48, 119.3 their percentage. Of course, we can see that could be instrumental come the end of the season. We've got the Giants on 118. We've got the Hawthorn on 119.9. Brisbane dropping percentage down to 111. Of course, Fremantle on 108. So it's vitally important Gold Coast Suns continue on their merry way and put a bigger margin as possible on the Brisbane Lions. Tell you what, the Brisbane Lions, this is, I don't know what's happened to them today. As I said, they're just a bit lazy, lethargic. Their pressure's not on. They've just been, it's just one of their off games. It's a game that, all teams have, but this is not a game that they really can afford to drop. Brisbane Lions with a tough run home up until the finals. So they can't afford to drop games, or as I said, well, I thought they could have been a chance to drop out of the top 8. Maybe not with the Western Bulldogs there, but you just never know. You just never know. They've got a tough run home. Hey, let's have a look at the goal scorers. Ben Long doing the job there for the Gold Coast Suns. He's kicked 4, top on the table. Jai Farrar is kicked 3 for the Gold Coast Suns. Ben King, Nick Holman, Fiorini, Buderick, Anderson, Ainsworth, all singles. And, of course, no multiples for Brisbane, just Lockie Neal, McCluggage, Hipwood, Bailey and Archie singles. Let's have a look at Noah Anderson's. There we go. Noah Anderson actually had a quieter third term there, but still up to 28. I think he had 4 possessions in that third term, but Matt Rowell's certainly come to the fore. Have a look at this. This is a ring-a-ding-ding stats. 31 disposals, only one in the 30s up until three-quarter time. On track for a big tally, 14 kicks, 17 handballs, 4 marks, 7 tackles, 12 clearances. What a third term he unleashed on the game. Johnny Noble up to 24, Fiorini 23. Of course, Lockie Neal best for the Brisbane Lions. He's jumped up to 22, trying hard, but to no avail. Hugh McCluggage, don't forget your luggage, on 20 was Zach Bailey, Will Ashcroft 18. There we go. Ben Ainsworth having a good game. 20 disposals, 1 goal, 1. McAndrew's doing well down defence. I tell you what, 16, the big stalky fella. And he's doing everything right, everything that is required from him this afternoon. Don't forget, after this game, folks, we're heading over to the West Coast. Fremantle West Coast game. I think that game is coming up next. Let me just double check. Yeah, 4:15. That's in about 45 minutes. That game starts. Jared Witts is having a pretty good game too. Look at that, 12 disposals, 41 hitouts, 5 clearances, going all right. Who else we got down there? Charlie Cameron. Well, he hasn't been about today. 7 disposals, 5 kicks, 2 behinds. Ben King. Well, he could be in for a big last quarter. He's only had 5, 3 kicks, one major. So not a great deal for him. Of course, Logan Morris, just the 2 touches. Wow, been well held down in the defensive line for the Gold Coast Suns. All right, let's roll this back up. Let's put that back there. We'll head back down to the commentators. Look, I'd appreciate everyone want to follow me on my second channel called Everyday. I'll put the link in the chat while we're on break for a moment. Just trying to build that up, and then I can do some lives like this as well. Might even do a little bit of rugby over there on the second channel. There we go. All right, hey, that's enough of me jibber-jabbering on at the moment. 58 points is the margin here. Let's head back down to the ground for the final quarter, where we're cheering on Anthony to get 121 points for the Gold Coast Suns.
Perfect dog collar. That's how close he's got to wear him.
Centre bounce, and it continues to be one-way traffic out of there through Humphrey. Wilmot and Neal collaborated well. Zorko just got worked off the kick. As a result, it didn't quite hit the target. No free kick to Ainsworth. Scooting away Berry. Hipwood, nice take. Had to give someone to offload it to, and that was Bailey. So positive ball movement. Cameron at the back. Adams made it difficult for him. Collins well up. Lengthy handball to Andrew, and he had no time at all. Rayner can't believe he didn't get the free for that. Must have been deemed no prior. They need to take possession for Butterick. Cameron's limping. It's that sort of day. You're a Brisbane Lion. Gardner. There's the kick. Local Marks thought he could.
He's continuing to form. They've had more handballs and kicks today. The Gold Coast Suns in the West.
Yeah, and their handling has been really good. So you're back here, and was that Charlie Cameron just limped and rolled his ankle. I think for most of the day, that foot injury from last week, Dane Zorko doesn't quite look right.
Jeffrey almost misfired on the handball. Davies Nicks it out. Noble thought he could turn past Bailey. He couldn't. McCluggage back to Neil in a rush. McInerney.
Oh, look at the big fella.
It's a pretty big divot there. Just what Jared Witts didn't need at this time of the day. Bailey and McCluggage somehow get the ball out to Berry. Bit of a standoff there for Neil on Anderson. Kick is touched, so that was worth a mark from Jeffrey, but not deemed so. Loose ball, Bailey. Eyes in the back of her head. McCluggage. Every time they look likely, just can't finish their plays, and that's so much due to the effort of the Suns.
We got Jared. Oscar.
As we heard, Will Power had a huge week with the birth of his second child and played a really good role here today in
Don't hold.
trying conditions.
Duncan was ready to lay the tackle. Dubious handball. Neil. Touch. So lovely snap goal is not a lovely snap goal. They will check it.
Yep. Score review. Umpire's call is touch, one behind. Please check it was touched off the boot.
Just the spirit of the day for the Brisbane Lions. This is certainly going to be
Review
tough.
underway.
You couldn't imagine this is going to be overruled. Anderson again.
Official score review vision. It'd want to be touched because the call was made loud and clear, and so they just let it go through.
You could actually hear it down here ground level, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah.
It's caught the snick of the little finger.
Right hand. That'll do.
Review complete. Looking at these angles, there is insufficient evidence to determine whether the ball was touched. Decision on scoreboards.
So Remainer behind. Five individual goal kickers for Brisbane. Lockie Neal is one of them. Tried hard, had 27 disposals. It's Noble. Goes to Witts again. He's pretty much rock solo all day. He's been at every centre bounce, double teamed in there. Davies had the ball for a long time. Rao offloads Fiorini. Not quite for long that time. Starcevic kept him honest and now tries but fails to put a tackle on Matt Rao. Unstoppable today. The kick to King. The filter back. Bailey Humphrey back in the goal square, begging for him to kick it quickly. Here it comes. Humphrey with a run up. Oh, he had to contend with Reid in the end. Neil back to Gardner. Buys a bit of time at least. Jeffrey.
I just spoke about Jared Witts. You're right. Anthony is rucked against two genuine ruckmen for the opposition, McInerney and Ford. He's had twice as many hit-outs. They've been influential around the ground in the marking contest for the ball. They've been able to just kick long to him. Obviously, they're inexperienced ahead of the ball. Hasn't allowed any Brisbane Lions defenders to take intercept marks.
Did he hit that?
I think he did. I think he'd had enough. He just not putting my hands up.
Can you get a hit out for that? Collins has it covered.
He's worn out, the big fella.
Play on the 15. Play on.
Nice to hand. Let's have a look.
Play on the 15. Play on. Play on.
Tried, man.
Tried to, yeah. Collins. Back to Noble. Now Jeffrey. The rain is relentless and so are the Suns. Possession time with the footy. Butterick's done his job.
And not a great feeling with the Brisbane Lions players at the moment. You're probably starting to think of a shower. And these wet conditions, just helpless feeling about them since half-time.
Butterick down the line.
Just haven't been able to get any parts of the game going. I think a few of the senior players are looking a bit sore too.
Yeah, I just feel that Dane Zorko limped from the ground with that foot injury last week. Early we saw him limping a little bit. Just looks like he hasn't got the power to get off the mark. So that's a concern moving forward.
Buys next week, big game. So, ideally, wouldn't want him to miss, but they've got to get him right, don't they, for the finals?
Well, you do.
Tough draw home, so haven't they, Brisbane?
Yeah, they do.
And positioning is going to be so important for them.
Hawthorn still to come, Fremantle away.
The other one we've spoken about and has had trouble over the last couple of months, Oscar McInerney. Just doesn't look like the body's looking after him. He just looks sore around the ground.
No question.
It's when he's been in the ruck that they've done their most damage scoring-wise.
Yeah.
He wins this one. Not sure which he could move, to be honest. Stays in. Neil creeps it a little closer. McAndrew. Morris. Huge swish from Archie. Now, that might put Adams in trouble. Yes, it does. A bit too decisive, knocking it out of bounds. Generous manning in the mark. Big leap from the side from Rayner. They've got that covered as well.
Here they go. Anderson and Rao.
They spread and they charge. Ainsworth, the centre half forward, long. Got there just a step ahead as they have all day. King leads laterally, so does Humphrey. Chose the ladder. King's on. He summed it up beautifully. Ben King, intent on sharing the love, and there's plenty to go round.
Huge win. Huge win. We spoke pre-game to both coaches, folks. Obviously concerned there. 12 of the last 13 Q clashes have gone in favour of the Brisbane Lions. A statement win in round 8. But it's these men here out of that stoppage. Anderson to Rao. Long, who probably been quiet over the last month or so, back in some really good form. Winners across the ground. And Brisbane have thrown plenty. But each time Brisbane challenge or raise the pressure levels, the Suns reply quickly. It's been a comprehensive, impressive win.
It's been a demolition of last year's premiers. It really has.
Ben Ainsworth had a much more memorable 151st game than he did 150 last week. Fiorini getting some genuine midfield time. Farah's been a handy inclusion. Andrews has a second take. It's picked up instead by Weller.
Well, I wonder if Fags will use the same line Dimmer did in his press conference.
I was thinking
This side of the post.
I'm not sure Chris Fagan goes down that path. He's a bit more
Quite as cavalier
balanced.
with
Yeah.
fruity with the languages. Damien. Fletcher pinpoints Zorko. But I reckon it'll feel that way for Brisbane. They're still well positioned in the season, and I'm pretty sure he'll find a way to be positive about the bigger picture. Fletcher picks out his great mate, the Ashcrofts, and work their way across. There's Marshall. Goes a second time. Brilliantly done from Weller. A reward for effort. It's been there all day.
They've had as many tackles as Brisbane for the day, so it just shows their application defensive side of things, even though they're dominated on the scoreboard.
So Marshall starting as a sub again today. Getting a whole second half through the fingertips of Harris Andrews, Starcevic.
You don't see this stat. Well, you don't see this stat much at all against the Brisbane Lions, but 9 goals from stoppage, 4 of those from centre bounce.
Centre bounce, yeah. They're a strong centre bounce team, Suns.
Looks to direct it down, but Rouse still got on with the footy. Ben Long. Farah. Sneaky hands in there from Fletcher. That's a brilliant tackle from Ashcroft. That's an even better step from Humphrey.
Of course he did.
Astonishing.
It's all fallen into place, but it's all fallen into place on the back of hard work early. And that's what's great to see. You just see these young players develop, and Bailey Humphrey starting in the midfield, powerful midfield forward that goes back and impacts the scoreboard and just gets his half chance. He's one of those players that just creates something out of nothing.
Yeah, he's really good. He's had a good season. Continues on. Plays an important role now as that extra midfielder, does some centre bounces, long as Sam Flanders, very important to him now when he comes back into the team. So part of it, building that depth. Ainsworth's another one.
3 goals for Bailey Humphrey. There's 6 goals, 1 from snaps.
Stay out.
That's handy.
Lions have no choice but to fight on. Rayner, deep. Hipwood, not quite. Newland, Adams, a bit awkward. There's an open door there for Archie, but closed just as quickly. Oscar has sent that one almost into the crowd.
Foot on the line. Foot on the line.
He has. Oscar Adams, he's done a pretty good job back there.
Yeah.
He's been handy. Only had a handful of disposals, but he's been good.
Well, done well to connect on a pass on a slow play there to Rayner. Summed it up.
Noah, back here.
He hasn't been able to influence the game at all. He's had 16 disposals, but really no influence.
Hasn't kicked a goal.
Go full, call it.
That one.
He's curled through pretty nicely.
Yeah, well, all's lost for the Brisbane Lions, but they're going to fight it out to the finish line, don't they? So he's had a pretty quiet game. The numbers look okay on the stat sheet, but just hasn't been able to get any dominance forward of the ball. Mind you, none of his other teammates have been able to do that, Lynchy. So
Some quiet forwards for Brisbane.
Go square, lads.
And, Hipwood's been quiet, and Logan Morris is still a young developing player, but he's had a very quiet game.
Charlie started okay, but just hasn't been able to get involved.
Levi Ashcroft getting some time in the middle. She'll be enjoying that, but he won't enjoy Humphrey taking it very deep.
Again, centre bounce clearance. The Suns have to be happy tonight, Damien, with this performance.
He'd be very proud.
Yeah, they're one step in the finals now.
We were in the rooms for the song 2 weeks ago. We'll come back to it in a sec.
Reed. Lombard's out there now. Sam Collins has been subbed out. I think that's just precautionary. We'll get to get on that shortly. Fletcher. Picked up by Holman. Awkward for Anderson. He knew what was coming.
So we were down the rooms after the Collingwood game, and you had Damien Hardwick standing up on the steps with a huge smile on his face. And you saw how he's like a proud parent sitting up there with his young charges, proud of what they had done over the past 3 hours.
Jeffrey lags the kick into the pocket. Long and Starcevic. Humphrey was threatening. And still over the top. I'm not sure what he had going there.
The forward pressure's been good today. Alex Rance there. Sam Collins. He got about some technique work off for Sam Collins.
Imagine
Alex Rance, one of the greatest.
You matched him Tuesday nights, and you got Alex Rance, and in the nick he's in, he'd probably keep most of the forwards quiet.
Just got word from the Suns, so it's just tactical for Sam Collins' first game back.
Yeah, very wise, I would have thought.
There's a rare spillage from McCluggage. Davies. Humphrey. Farah. Well done.
Look at the games to come. So they're going to win tonight. So then they need probably 2 more wins. We've got Richmond next week up here. Carlton down in Melbourne. The Giants back up here. Then Port Adelaide away and Essendon to finish in the last game of the regular season. So they just need to pick up 2 out of those games.
3 to be absolutely
to be sure.
Reed has a crack. There is a way you could, with their percentage, but their percentage will get a boost today. So they could be fighting out with a club like Hawthorn.
Yeah.
But this is such a big win.
Huge win.
They could be top 4. They could still be in the race for. That's how tight and open it is. Bailey through 4. Threading it back again. Ashcroft. McAndrew has to find it. But he has to deal with it.
Oh, he's paid it. He's paid it. He's paid it.
Great doings.
Good on me, mate.
Marshall gets to kick a goal. What, but he would have imagined the way it was saying.
No, he just casually went over. Just McAndrew just here, not under enough pressure. You wouldn't have thought. He's thinking that, well, I'm in the 9-metre square rectangle there.
But they work off about 3 metres.
Yeah.
So if you got no one within 3 metres, it was probably borderline.
After he bumped the ball, then
Dimmer was completely pumped.
Let's go, squad.
Probably look at the casual nature of McAndrew, the body language.
You just got to maybe draw the tackle on the line and fall over.
You dream of kicking your first AFL goals. You probably don't have this in mind. Your team getting smashed by 10 goals, pouring rain, and a deliberate behind.
How'd you do it, son?
That's footy. And this is Gold Coast footy. This is Matt Rowe. He's run too far. Glad he didn't kick the goal because...
Charlie Cameron.
Geez, that might cost him the medal. He's been on fire.
He's very good. Been very, very good today. Look at that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Outside 5, outside
Oh, where's the
5.
theatre from the umpire?
Well, I tell you what, if he was running from a kick out, he's got another 10 metres to go.
35 touches for Rowe, one off his career high. Still 10 minutes to go. So you'd think he's a good thing as far as that's concerned. Disrupted play, but not for too much longer. Lombard, his chance to stretch out. He got that kick back. Straight to Gardner and then to Neil from the side route. Play on the call. Levi Ashcroft. Gardner again from the stand start. One of those Lions who missed out on the premiership glory last year. And those players who did help drive them all the way to go back to back.
We speak about that work rate of Matty Rowe. He hasn't exactly put the cue in the rack now, though, has he? He's still actually really working hard.
Great habits.
Look at him. He's just going around, where can I get the next one? Where's the next body I can hit?
He's a bull. John Noble, a bit proper there. Just that last tackle.
Not a great time to get an injury, is it? In this sort of contest.
Talking about players desperate for finals. John Noble after missing out in 23 for Collingwood.
Yeah, point to prove. Levi Ashcroft wobbles one forward. Cameron immediately goes to work. And Bailey looks to tidy it up. Put a bit of polish on it, but instead he misses. Saw plenty of this in his first couple of years, didn't he? Chris Fagan as the Brisbane coach, but that's a long time ago now, looking to lead them into their 7th consecutive finals. High ball up to the wing. Witts. Ashcroft. The strength to get to his feet, but Rowe didn't let him go too much further. Wilmot slings it inside 50. Holman happy to absorb if he can. Powell. Lions still hunting hard for it. Rayner. McCluggage. Archie had moderate success, at least got ball to boot. Ainsworth, they've got plenty back at the moment, the Suns. They're going to link it up. This has been their method all day. Jeffrey into Anderson. Possession 30 for the skipper. He had a magic couple of minutes before half-time. A long goal, which that would have been a loss attached
on his lap.
Yeah.
Jeffrey was walking off
Trying to get off the ground.
Reid locks hands. Gardner, free kick.
Jeffrey's still standing there. He can't
I
move.
need to pull his ducks up as well. A bit wet.
To Hipwood. And now Archie in a spin. Marshall. Suns are just about out of gas, but the Lions don't have many tickets left either.
A couple of blokes that are up and about. Downstairs, our old mates, Barry Lowe and Phil McGarry, used to work for the Brisbane Lions for a long time, providing us lollies.
And it's all got diabetes every week. The amount of lollies they give us.
Ben's been like a pestosaurus, getting lollies off him today.
Bailey feeds it back. Fletcher. Charlie Cameron. Odds are against him. McCluggage. And Rayner. Salutes again.
When you look at the Brisbane Lions and what they've got left, you went through the Suns games. Lions got Collingwood next week, MCG, Sydney at the Gabba. Let's see here, just a snap.
Let's go, guys. Straight
Eventually
into
comes
position.
out.
Let's go.
Entry from Cam Rayner. And then it's Fremantle in Perth and Hawthorn last game, which would probably be an important one for the Hawks. It's a tough finish.
Tough finish, absolutely. So, look, you expect them to bounce back next week. It's going to be a tough challenge, though. Going down against Collingwood, against the arch rival. So, not panic stations, by no means. Chris Fagan won't be panic stations, but I think the story of the game tells it's more about the Gold Coast Suns for me.
It is.
Just their powerful display in the centre of the ground, yes.
And they're at it again. Rao and Anderson do even numbers. Ben Long. Kick going to Reid.
The aerial stuff has been an underrated part of the game as well. So 9-4, the contested marks. They've only allowed Brisbane to take 7 intercept marks. So they've competed really well. Not necessarily about completing the marks, but just making sure Brisbane. Yes.
And we know that that's one of the great assets of Brisbane is the power of Harris Andrews being able to intercept and then launch off half back.
Gee, that's an interesting replay, wasn't it? Reid was probably more concerned with Andrews than Andrews was with Reid. He gets the free. He'd like to join the list of goal kickers today. It's a long list. And a very happy list of Gold Coast Suns goal kickers. Ethan Reid.
Good goal kicker. 8 goals too. Have a look at it's teaming down there. They kick beautifully, and it's really set up the victory. So that's what got them going in the first quarter. And then they started to establish dominance around contest. That was the order. They just built their confidence through the accurate goal kicking.
And Ethan Reid, I mean, he was lucky with that free kick, let's be honest with that one. But I think he's shown more glimpses over the last month, jumping better at contests, more consistency. So really promising. Now they've gone with the 2 talls. A few of the injured boys in the grandstand. I like their midfield at the moment. Rao, Anderson, Witts and Davies.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Some of their selection choices going forward, isn't it? In the wet today, so it suited the smaller team, but it's functioned well. Rao, they're hunting more. Oh, long went up. Way too early. No interference. Ainsworth's going to run another one home. And they're finishing with a flurry, just for good measure. Ainsworth's had a day out as well. He's kicked 3.
5 goals from centre bounce. Impressive.
It's a big number.
It's a huge number. He jumps hard at the ball, doesn't he? Ben Long. He's
almost shepherded there from Starcevic, blocked his run, but he does launch. He plays bigger in the air than his size would think. He throws himself at the contest, leads well. Ainsworth's got on the end of a few, and he's played well. If they can get him to sort of actually rise up a little bit in that forward half and contribute a little bit midfield as well, that's very encouraging. So it's been a huge day, huge win, and great to see the evolution of a number of these young players.
Just see the right of the screen there, the graphic. 78 points from stoppage. The Suns, 2 off their best stoppage score all time in the history of the Gold Coast Suns against the dominant Brisbane Lions midfield.
illustrating another move forward. The left boot of Holman. Good leap from Farrell. Protected the drop of the ball. Ainsworth off the left to the square. King at the back is Fiorini, but King takes the mark anyway.
So this will break the record. So coming into the game, Al, would you have thought, you said Gold Coast are going to kick the biggest score ever from stoppage against the Premier from last year with probably the most dominant midfield in the comp.
Not at all. And I thought that would be the difference in that midfield. I thought Dunkley would probably get the better of Rao again, but this has been a first-class display.
He's only had to play a minor role, but he's done his job. He's kicked the second. And they have kicked the sweep. 20 goals, 8 in driving rain. And the margin is out to 70 points. They're on their way to their biggest ever Q-Clash victory.
Yeah, Ainsworth involved again. Getting to a dangerous spot. That in the conditions, that is a good mark. And in wet conditions, you probably factor in you're going to probably have a double grabber at it. Important to keep it in front, give yourself the opportunity to bring it to your chest. But across the board, they've been dominant. So they've got, obviously, Sam Collins subbed out, Rao and Anderson on the bench. They're done. Other contributors with 30 each. Noble, Joel Jeffrey, once again, has been very good. And we've spoken about all day. Alex Davies at a PB by 6. He's at 28.
Nifty work out of the middle. Dunkley. Cameron sets chase. Something from Ashcroft. Archie is going to hand it off. This is the lot. Out of bounds on the full.
Yeah. Okay. Play on.
Back Andrew.
Good.
Wits. Wilmot was the riser. Marshall's hands good before. To Powell. Flanders. Ainsworth. He doesn't want this game to stop. Running on top of the turf at the moment.
There's 3-on-1 out here.
Butterick. Slowed them a fraction. And it's Fiorini on the end.
Again, plenty of handball, plenty of forward handball there. So they've had more handballs than kicks today.
And spread.
Spread, yeah.
2 metres.
Maybe Fiorini equaling his 28 disposals. Season high from last week. Bettering it with that little handoff to Jeffrey. It bangs away. Worth a shot. It's been good as well, hasn't he?
Oh, he's been very good.
31 disposals. Close to the numbers a few weeks ago as well. In the win over Essendon. Wilmot, the only line to take was down the middle. And they get a couple of late ones, Brisbane. Has to deal with Noble. Oh, well done, Archie.
He's kept trying, Archie.
Yes.
Former son.
Oh, just misses.
Fiorini. Jabs the pass to Holman. Still some run. Fiorini. Awkward for Wilmot. How he gets a go at it. Over the chest of Rayner. Probably some of the defensive elements aren't quite as stringently applied this late in the day.
Dropped off a little. Getting involved a little bit as the game's gone on, Cam Rayner. Like many of his teammates, not a big day. He's had this will be disposal number 19.
Alex, 10 seconds.
Quite a few senior players in the reserves today. The curtain raiser, the line, so selection will be interesting this week.
Like the Suns, the rain has been unrelenting. It's a beautiful looking strike from Cam Rayner.
Yeah, so
He's going to look very good, isn't he? He's kicked 3 goals, 1 and 19 disposals.
No, he's kept trying. They just haven't been able to impact like all his teammates really across the board today. So here's the live ladder. So maintain second position before the showdown.
So 7th position for the Suns this win, +1
Suns up 4% as well.
with the extra game.
So that teams like the Giants and Hawthorn, remembering the Suns will play Essendon late, so you're likely to not just get a win, but a big win, given how they are so weakened by injury.
Yeah, it's the last game of the year as well.
Back in the middle. Minute 30 to go. Neil, Dunkley. Quite the buttering. He'll try to slam it forward off the ground. Powell thought he could emerge unscathed.
Nice from Reed.
They've always got someone to run and receive today. Lombard out wide. Humphrey still just looking to set them up for others. Got out of the reach of Farah. Fletcher takes the mark. I thought Bowie Humphrey might have been fully loaded up then. Going for a fourth.
There's going to be some apologies need to be made in the Marcus Ashcroft best on ground voting. If someone has given the vote, we'll pass on some apologies later. They've got a number of good players.
Tough choice today. I wouldn't want to be one of the judges.
They score another one from stoppage. Oh, dropped by Leicester.
You take it. Yep.
Still only a kick and a bit away. It's away from McCluggage. Davies scything through. Oh, and Harris Andrews.
They would have just capped off his day. One of the stories of the day.
Play on!
For Damien Hardwick, he hasn't taken part in finals since 2022. Hasn't won a final since 2020. It was the grand final, of course. Hasn't taken part or won a final at the MCG since 2019. So he's excited about September. Everyone on the coast will be celebrating this performance that no one saw coming. Beware the rising suns. Take that, Brisbane Lions. An incredible scoreline to change everything about this Queensland rivalry. A 66-point demolition in Q-Clash number 29. Plenty to think about for the Brisbane coach. Great thoughts for the Suns. Ben Dixon.
Thank you, Anthony. Give you some cover, Noah. Now the game's done and dusted. Been a long time coming and winning a Q-Clash. How does that one feel?
Yeah, always very good. I think a mixture of both playing Brisbane, who have had the rub over us for a long time, and then getting belted last week. So really good for us to respond. Great support showed up today. We played really good footy, so yeah, very happy.
And we spoke to Dimmer and he said, you know, $1 million question is how they're going to come out and respond after last week as a collective group before the game. What was the focus?
Just getting back to the way we play and backing ourselves in. I think, you know, sometimes when you get belted, your confidence can take a hit, but I think in general our footy's been pretty good. So while last week wasn't up to scratch, I don't think it defined us. So we just stayed pretty level-headed and then came out this week really confident and played our footy.
These conditions suit only a number of players, Matty Rao. I reckon he goes up a level when the rain comes down, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He was so good today. Just some of his contest stuff, but then some of his stuff away from it as well. He looks so quick. So, pleasure to play alongside.
And you yourself, I know you're very modest. We'll talk about the Suns collective, but individually, 2 goals. You're getting forward a little bit more now, trying to have a few shots, aren't you?
Sneaking at times. But always nice to kick on.
What about Damien Hardwick? Because finals, we're not talking finals, but he's got the experience. How does he keep the lid on this in terms of the excitement for you guys? Because we know what's at stake in the next few weeks.
Yeah, well, we haven't been able to really look that far ahead yet. I mean, last 3 weeks we've played, you know, Collingwood, Adelaide and Brisbane. So I think first, second and third on the ladder. So still taking it week by week. I think the way we were coached during the week was why we played so well today.
And it's great when there's pressure on spots. Jed Walter goes out of the side, omitted, and Damien Hardwick said it was the hardest thing to ring him and tell him because you're so close as a group and he treats you guys like family. So the pressure on spot's a good thing coming this time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the step forward for our club. You know, like Jed's doing so much right, but still needs to tweak a few things in his game. But as a footy club and as a playing group, we love him. So, you know, that's going to happen to different blokes throughout the year. But, you know, Jai Farah came in and played a really good game today. So it shows a bit of maturity in our group and a little bit of depth as well.
Do you reckon Witsy gets the accolades he should? The amount of work that man does through the middle of the ground is pretty enormous.
Yeah, no, definitely. We don't play like we did today without him. It's a completely different look in the midfield. It's a completely different mindset heading in. So, yeah, he definitely deserves more plaudits.
The reason I gave him that little pump up, he winked at me as I was grabbing you. He loves when I mention his name. But no, that's a great win, you guys, after last week, and especially now at Q Clash. You're back on the winners list. Well done.
Thanks very much. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Ben.
All right, folks, there we go. Game, set, match. 2010-130, Gold Coast Alliance 9-10-64. Wow, we a 66-point margin of the Gold Coast Suns. Well done, Anthony. Got his 121 margin. Fantastic. All right, that is game, set, match. Hey, we had 70% vote for the Gold Coast Suns in today's game. Well done, everyone in the chat. Let's run through the stats because we're going to head on over in a minute to the Freo West Coast derby over there at Perth. Ben Long topped the table with 4 goals for the Gold Coast Suns. Bailey Humphrey with 3, with Farah 3, Ben Ainsworth with 3. Ben King ended up kicking a couple. Ethan Reid, Nick Holman got 1. Fiorini, Buderick, Noah Anderson with 1. For the Brisbane Lions, Cam Rayner ended up with 3 goals for the day. Not a bad effort. Lockie Neal, McCluggage, Marshall, Eric Hipwood, Zach Bailey, Calamachi with 1 also for the Brisbane Lions. Top possession getters, well as a couple between them. Matt Rowell, Lockie Neal, both high on the stat list, 37-36. Matt Rowell, 14 clearances. He had a ring-a-dink-dink game. Noah Anderson, 33. I tell you what, Noah Anderson was probably best on ground. He was the man who got the Gold Coast Suns up and running, firing early, and got that lead for them. He was absolutely fantastic. There we go. Joel Jeffrey, 32. Fiorina, 32. John Noble, 31. Alex Davies, 30. So there we go. 2, 4, 6, 7. 6 of the top 7, all Gold Coast players in the 30s. Only 1 from the Brisbane Lions. Just roll down the stats a little bit. We'll do that. Dunkley on 22. Ben Ainsworth 27. McCluggage, I think, ended up getting 28 there for the Lions as we roll on down. Cam Rayner, as I said, 19 disposals, 3 goals, 1. Reasonable in that final quarter. McAndrew did pretty well with 18 there. Zorko, a little bit quiet, 17. All right, let's keep rolling down. Levi Ashcroft, 15. Eric Hipwood, 15. Just a 1 goal for Eric Hipwood. They were talking about Jared Witts. He does a fair bit of work around the ground. He's very good for the Gold Coast Suns. 13 touches, 49 hit-outs, and 5 clearances. Darcy Fort, the opposing with McInerney. Darcy Fort had 31 hit-outs. Oscar McInerney, 19. Just quickly wrapping up the team stats there. It was, 35, plus 71 disposals overall to the Suns. Inside 50, 64, 53, plus 11 to the Suns. They kept that efficiency inside 50 up really high, 53. That's really good. Free kicks all pretty well tied up, 18-19, plus 1 to the Brisbane Lions. The Suns won the hitouts, plus 3. The clearances, plus 12. They start to get on top and dominate the centre clearances. They were plus 8 in the end, which would be very, very pleasing to the coach there. Contested possession, just plus 12, uncontested, controlling the ball, plus 62 there. There we go. Marks inside 50, ended up 11-6. So not too bad. Of course, the rain absolutely started to pelt down in the end, so it wasn't an easy game to control the ball. 77-73, tackles reasonably well for both sides. Tackles inside 50, the pressure lifted for both teams there. But that is the result of today's game between the Q Clash, Gold Coast Suns and the Brisbane Lions. It was big winners by the Gold Coast Suns. Well done. I tell you what, they are set in stone now for the finals, climbing up the ladder. Big chance to be top 4 when the season, home and away season is over, and then jumping into the finals. So there we go. Gold Coast, they've got 4 rounds to go before finals action begins. All right, folks, that's all I got for this one. Hey, thanks. Ciao for now. We'll see you over at the Fremantle, a West Coast Eagles game. The derby over there should be an absolute ring-a-ding-ding game. So until that game, ciao for now. Thanks a lot. We'll see you at the next game.